So guys, what if Naruto and Amaterasu sent to the was in high school movie 1? Every legend has to come from somewhere. Stories of gods and goddess were passed on from generation to generation. Gods and goddess aiding the world and helping or harming people. There are many stories such as Medusa. In Greek mythology, a beautiful woman was turned into a monster by Athena out of pure jealousy. However, there are other deities that help humans. People later believe that they are beings of greatness, but don't realize that they can be as petty as humans are. Humans, creation a god from the Bible, creatures that aren't perfect and struggle throughout the entire life. Many humans believe in God as the one true God, but many other gods and goddess exist. Humanity later start to explore and find the other gods and started to worship them. One such god is the gods and goddess of the Shinto religion. The Shinto pantheon is one of the many groups of gods and goddess around the world. Their home is a large island that humanity call Japan. Amaterasu, Tsukuyomi, and Susanoo are three of the main gods, goddess that lead their faction. They carefully watch over their country and protect their people from threats of the supernatural world, creatures that would take the lives of their people, such as angel, fallen angel, and devils. People wonder why angels would harm people of Japan. In their eyes, they see them as traitors for putting their faith in another god that isn't their father, God from the Bible. Conflict would arise constantly and later all-out war. This war is known as the Great War. The war started off as the biblical faction having in-house fighting. Devils, fallen angels, and angels are all part of the biblical faction, but they couldn't get along with each other. They divided into the devil faction, fallen angel faction, and the angel faction. The once powerful biblical faction split into three and waging war against each other. This war spread to the entire world and forced other magical creatures and gods, goddess to get involved to protect their home. The Shinto faction were one of the many groups that fought in the war. They fought for their land, however, like all other gods. They depended on humans' faith in them to determine how powerful they start out as. Other gods like Lu and Thor trained to become stronger and they managed to become part of the top 10 strongest beings. This is why most of the top 10 are filled with gods from the Hindu faction because of their large number of believers. Gods and goddess like Amaterasu and Susanoo fought for their home in their world, heavenly planes. The heavenly planes is where all the Shinto gods and goddess come from. However, the first god is Amenominakanushi, heavenly ancestral god of the originating heart of the universe. Amenominakanushi disappeared after more gods and goddess were born into the heavenly plane to lead the Shinto faction. During the war, he harmed so many humans that they started to pray for their god. Many prayers were ignored, but the prayers from believers of the Shinto faith were answered. They were answered by Amenominakanushi. The heavenly ancestral god granted his blessing to one of the clan of Japan to protect their home. This clan were the Uzumaki clan. The Uzumaki clan were one of the wisest or idiotic clan to be born in Japan. They fought for their belief in their home when the devils and angels brought war to Japan. They were the one to never give up and the first to fight them off. Amenominakanushi saw them as the true sons and daughters of Japan and gave them his blessing. A blessing that granted them immense power. They were given great magical power and longevity. The Uzumaki's longevity allowed them to live as long as many of the magical races in the world. Also, with the magical power, they were granted a form of bloodline magical ability. It was known as heavenly body magic. Magic that centers around the heaven as the ones called it, but it was really centered around astronomical objects. After the war ended, the supernatural found themselves peace. Well, peace for many faction. The biblical faction refused to let go of their hatred for each other and ended up in a Cold War scenario. The Uzumaki clan found themselves to live in peace. After a while, they lost their bloodline, heavenly body magic. However, it didn't matter to them. The Uzumaki live in the belief of living for family. So power didn't matter to them, though. They still had their longevity and magical prowess. They were still feared by many other faction and creatures for being so powerful for humans. The clan would reside in Kyoto due to it being the capital for the Shinto faction. To enter the heavenly planes, they would need to enter Kyoto first. As a clan blessed by Amenominakanushi, they are the few that were allowed to enter. Even the yokai that work together with the Shinto gods weren't allowed in, except for a few. The Uzumaki are peaceful and powerful people, so the yokai and human of Japan offer them to lead them, but they would refuse, saying, "We want to live a happy life." Time has passed. The Uzumaki spent their time in peace and happiness. They prefer to live in the normal world instead of the supernatural world. So they would be forgotten by many outside of the Shinto faction. In the 21st century, the Uzumaki family dwindle in numbers and only a handful survived from those that seek out revenge or from natural causes. Even with their peaceful life, they wouldn't be allowed by others to live in peace. so they would always train themselves and keep contact with the gods, goddess, and yokai in Kyoto. One Uzumaki family moved to Kuo Town, a town in Japan that didn't contain much of the supernatural world. It was there the Uzumaki Kushina found love. She met a man there and married him. This man is now Uzumaki Minato, formerly Namikaze Minato. They built a life together in Kuo and had a child. Before I continue, you must understand that the Uzumaki are a prominent family for the Shinto faction. Considering with their few numbers, every birth was always important. The gods and goddess would be there for a birth of an Uzumaki. During Kushina's delivery day, many people visit her on October 10th. The god, goddess, and other people from Minato's background came to see the child of Minato and Kushina born. The godfather of the child was given the honor to name the baby boy. He would name the newborn, Naruto Uzumaki. Time skips 7 years. Kushina and Minato wanted to raise Naruto as a normal child. However, that wouldn't be possible because of his Uzumaki blood. Like all Uzumaki, he inherited their magical traits. But it didn't stop the loving parents to raise him to live a normal life as much as possible. Naruto grew up as a hyperactive kid, getting into trouble as much as possible. Because of this, Naruto didn't have a lot of friends. Parents would think that he was a troublemaker because of the pranks he would play on the neighborhood, so they would tell their kids to not play with him. However, it didn't bother Naruto much because he did find a friend. Well, 2 friends specifically. He befriended Issei Hyodo and Irina Shizu. It started off as any other prank that Naruto planned. Naruto planned to hit the local church in town. He wanted to paint it orange. His favorite color. The reason he targeted the church is due to him being raised as a Shinto follower. So Naruto didn't have any love for the other religion. The prank itself is innocent and wouldn't get him in much trouble if he was caught. But the chances of him getting got was great. Irina and Issei were playing with each other when they ran into Naruto in the park. Naruto was thinking of ways to hit the church at the time. Irina and Issei were troublemakers themselves and decided to join in on Naruto's prank on the church. Needless to say that it went perfect and he or his accomplices weren't caught. It was the start of a beautiful friendship. Sadly, it came to an end after a few years. "I can't believe it," said a sniffling little brunette boy. "You two are really moving?" "Sorry, Issei," replied a blonde boy with blue eyes. I was to say that Naruto won't have whiskers. He has no connection to Kurama. My parents got a job transfer to Kyoto, he said sadly. "Me too." "I am sorry, Issei. My dad is transferring to England," cried out the girl with light brown hair in a scruffy ponytail with violet eyes. "It still sucks. You two are my best friend." The brown-haired boy cried out, "I'll be alone again." "Come on, Issei." The blonde tried to cheer up. "I am sure that we will see each other again." "Really?" asked the 2 crying children. Of course, Irina, Issei, getting the 2's attention. "I know we will meet each other again. Maybe not now, maybe not for a while, but we will see each again in the future." Hearing the small speech, Issei and Irina managed to cheer up. "Thanks, Naruto," they said in unison with their newfound hope in being reunited. He stuck his hand out in between them. "Let's make a promise that we will see each other again. For better or worse, we will still be friends." "Yeah," Issei shouted in determination. He stuck his hand on top of Naruto's. "Definitely," Irina shouted with the same determination, while she stuck her hand in too. Kyoto. After saying their goodbye to each other, Naruto was taken to Kyoto. However, it wasn't due to a job transfer like Irina. It was due to the danger of the supernatural world. Kushina and Minato would watch the town carefully for any sign of the supernatural world. Recently, they found some devils trying to get in and found out they were hired to kill a blonde child. The parents immediately knew that someone hired the devils to kill Naruto. During Naruto's birth, something unexpected occurred. He showed signs of having the long-lost bloodline of the Uzumaki clan. Heavenly body magic. It was there that his parents knew that he wouldn't have a normal life that they wanted him to live. So they decided to give him a normal life as long as possible until something happened. Now, something did happen and Naruto has to go to Kyoto to train in his ability. During the trip, it was a lot to take in for Naruto. He never would have thought that all those stories and legend that his parents told would be real, and his family carries a lot of power. It made him nervous when he thought about all the pressure and danger he would be when people found about his bloodline, but it made him excited. He always wanted to go on an adventure and have fun. Currently, Naruto is staying with the leader of the yokai in Kyoto while Kushina and Minato goes up to the heavenly plains. Yasaka, the leader of the yokai, is Kushina's old friend and was there for Naruto's birth. "I am bored," Naruto shouted as he walked around the halls of the Capitol building. "This place sucks." He continued to walk around till he found himself in the garden. "Ah, Naruto shouted as he heard something and turned around to see a fireball coming toward him. What the hell? He screamed after he dodged the fireball, only to see a girl his age with golden blonde hair with matching eyes in a Miko outfit. However, the feature that caught his eyes were the 9 tails and fox ears. He was told about yokai, but he hasn't seen any yet till now. You. That was supposed to hit you. The girl shouted at him. What the hell? Like I am going to let you hit me, he retorted. You're trespassing. You're not supposed to be here. Okawa-sama told me that humans can't enter the building, she said with building up another fireball in her hand, preparing to attack again. Wait. Wait. Naruto frantically waved his hands. My parents told me to stay here. I don't know where exactly I am. The girl lowered her fireball, taking in Naruto's word. Do you know what I am? She questioned him. Yeah. Ka-chan and Tu-san told me about yukais. You're a kitsune, right? Naruto replied, confirming the girl's suspicion. She was told by her mother that humans don't know about the supernatural world, but there are the exception. She figured out that he is an exception. Fine, come with me. Well, find your parents, she said, trying to sound mature. As long as don't send another fireball at me, he joked, getting a glare from her. He started to follow her. By the way, I am Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki. She froze. She'd been told about the Uzumaki clan. She always wanted to meet one. The next thing that happened is she appeared right in front of him with stars in her eyes. Really? She asked excitedly. Are you really an Uzumaki? Why yay, I lived Kuo town before. My parents took me here to start on my Uzumaki training here. Ka-chan said it's safer here than back home, he said while sweating a little bit. Wow. She started to touch him like he is the 8th wonder of the world. Then she calmed down. Oh, sorry Uzumaki-sama. Ka-sama told me about the Uzumaki clan and I always wanted to meet one. I thought I wouldn't meet any because many have died. It's okay. Naruto replied. Oh, I should introduce myself. I am Kuno, daughter of the heiress of the Yukai faction, Kunuo said with a bow. Kuno-chan. My parents said they had business here and told me to wait around here, but I am bored. Do you know what we can do for fun? Naruto asked. Of course, Uzumaki-sama, just follow me. Oh, just call me Naruto. Okay. Naruto, she said with a smile. She took him to her room where there was toys and later shown him the entire palace. 2 hours later, Era. Looks like these two are getting along. A woman that looked like an older Kuno said with Naruto's parents close by. They found the two playing tag in the palace. I knew that they would get along. Yasaka, Naruto can get along with anyone he meets, Kushina said with a smile. It's moments like this that I wish that time would stop, Minato commented, seeing his son and the daughter of his wife friends playing together and laughing. Me too, but it won't last, nothing lasts forever, Kushina said with a sad smile. Kushina, they want to see Naruto now, you should go take him to the heavenly plains now, Yasaka advised her. Yeah, you're right, Kushina said reluctantly. She wanted him to have as much fun as he can. Now he would be trained into a powerful warrior because of her Uzumaki blood. Naruto, getting the kids' attention. Okawa-sama, Kuno said as she noticed her mom next to the Uzumaki parents. Ka-chan. He and Kuno went towards the adults. Okawa-chan. Tu-san. This is my new friend, Kuno-chan, he said happily. Kuno gave them a bow. Oh, looks like you two were great friends, Kushina said. Yup. He said while placing his arm around Kuno. Era, looks like you two were close. I hope that you two get closer in the future, Yasaka teased. Okawa-sama. She shouted in embarrassment with a big blush, causing the adults to laugh, while Naruto looked confused. Now Naruto, we will be staying in Kyoto for a while. You can play with Kuno-chan as much as you want later, but now we have to go and meet some people that wanted to meet you for a while, Minato said. Who Tu-san? Naruto asked. Your godfather, Kushina told him. Now come along, she said while leading the way. Hi. See ya later Kuno-chan, he said with a quick hug and followed his mother, then his father followed him. Heavenly Plains, wow. Naruto said as he looked all around. Kushina and Minato brought Naruto to the Heavenly Plains to meet the 3 head deities of the Shinto faction. Amaterasu, Tsukuyomi, and Susanoo really wanted to meet Naruto, considering that one of them was Naruto's godfather and all 3 did show up to his birth. Bahahaha. Shouted a man. God. So this is my godson. He is still small like he was 7 years ago. The god. Susanoo laughed out loud. Yes. Susanoo is Naruto's godfather. Kushina made him as his godfather for reasons she couldn't remember. Considering he was an annoying man with a perverted side, Naruto's godmother is someone else that Minato had the honor to pick. You're my godfather. Naruto asked Susanoo. Why yes I am. He said proudly. Then suddenly an orange paint bomb exploded on his face, covering him in orange. This caused Naruto's parents to sweat drop. They knew this would be coming. What the hell one? Susanoo shouted. That's for naming me Naruto. Shouted an angry Naruto. Everyone always call me Fishcake or Fishcake-chan, including Ka-chan and Tu-san. Hey. I named you after me, not after some stupid ramen topping only to get another paint bomb to the face. Don't insult ramen. It's the food of the gods, causing many to sweat drop except for Kushina. She nodded in agreement with her son's statement. I see that he inherited Kushina-chan love of ramen, Amaterasu whispered to Tsukuyomi. She giggled and Tsukuyomi and shake his head. Whatever. I name you after me, the god of sea and storm. Naruto is in Maelstrom. Susanoo shouted in anger. Oh, Maelstrom is cool, sorry, Naruto said with a bow. You better be brat. Susanoo shouted at him, still angry. I should. Come now you two. We should tell the brat why he is here. Tsukuyomi cut off his brother, wanting to end their little spat. Fine, Susanoo agreed. You're no fun, Amaterasu said with a pout. Naruto my boy. Do you know why you are here? Susanoo asked, shaking his head to show that he didn't know exactly. Do you know about the entire Uzumaki clan history? Tsukuyomi asked. Ka-chan only told me that we are powerful and many bad people don't like us, Naruto said cutely. I can't take it anymore. Amaterasu shouted as she appeared right in front of Naruto and started to play with him. Enough sister. You're hurting the poor boy. I am not sure if his cheek can handle any more, Tsukuyomi said, getting a sad nod from her while the humans in the room only sweat drop at her action. Naruto, the Uzumaki are blessed with long lives and great magical prowess. Most importantly, they have a bloodline that was lost many centuries was known as heavenly body magic. It was Amanamanakanoushi-sama that granted your clan all of these abilities. Tsukuyomi said, shocking Naruto, when you were born. We were there, we saw that you somehow inherited that lost bloodline. That would make you a threat to many people, but also an asset to us. Listen carefully now. I am not trying to make it sound like I am trying to make you into a weapon, but the other faction believe that they can take what they want from us. There are many kidnapping of yukais and the genocide of one yukai race by the devils, shocking Naruto even further. I heard that you want to care about what is precious to you and I can tell you that devils and other race will take away or harm anything or anyone from you. Then what do I do? Naruto shouted. He didn't want to lose his friends. Especially Kuno. Hearing devils kidnapping yukai made him angry and scared for Kuno. He should be afraid of that. The devils have forcefully reincarnated many yukais before and let the criminals get away with it. There isn't any devil in Japan. Many have been killed on sight due to their hatred of them. The devil and Shinto relationship isn't good, but if war was to erupt, Shinto may not survive without any help. So far, besides the gods and goddess, there was only one person that could take on the super devils and that is Kurama, the Kyuubi, husband of Yusaka and father of Kuno. Yusaka and Kuno are considered kitsune like many other kitsune. The Kyuubi is a title to strongest kitsune or kitsunes. So far, there is only one Kyuubi. Simple, you train. Susanoo answered him. Train hard. You have the heavenly body magic. That alone is filled with holy and celestial magic. It will be a threat to many that want to harm you. What's the difference between celestial and holy magic? Naruto asked. He thought they were one in the same. Holy magic is magic filled with light energy, so much that only gods and goddess could possess. The only known holy power out in the world that isn't from a god is the holy swords. Any other holy magic would be only light magic, a pale imitation of holy magic. You would be one of the very few exceptions to have holy magic that isn't due to be a god or demigod. Celestial is something extremely rare, it's magic all about astronomy. Tsukuyomi explained, getting a confused look from Naruto. Astronomy, like space, moon, sun, and stars, it's magic of the unknown space with many mysterious and great power. The only one capable of using celestial magic is gods or goddess that have the domain of something from astronomy. Look at me, the moon god, or Amaterasu the sun goddess, or Lu another sun god. We can use celestial magic, but only ones that relates to our domain. However, you can use all. Really? Naruto asked excitedly and started to hop around shouting something about being a star. So, I ask you Naruto, will you allow us to train you so you can become powerful enough to protect us and all you love? Tsukuyomi asked, after giving it some thought. Yes. Naruto answered happily, ha ha ha. Good, good. Now, welcome to hell, Susanoo said with a dark smirk, making Naruto and his parents nervous. Till next time, it has been a long and brutal 10 years for Naruto Uzumaki. The day he decided to become stronger in order to protect what is precious to him would be the day he curse himself to the hellish fate. But he never regretted it. It was bitter work, but the results were worth it. Over the years, he trained to the point of exhaustion, something that his parents didn't like, but didn't stop him. The determination in Naruto's eye weakened his mother's resolve to forbid him from training with the gods. Learning how to master heavenly body magic wasn't easy. Most of the scrolls holding the information were lost during the Great War, but he did manage to learn enough to be a serious threat to many people. After finishing his magic training, he was taken to learn the way of the sword. He was personally taught by Susanoo to learn how to wield a sword. Even becoming a master swordsman, it wasn't enough. He thought he could do more if he learned how to wield more weapons. That was when Yasaka called in help to teach Naruto. She called Shigure Kasaka. 1. Shigure is a beautiful young woman with a slender frame yet remarkably curvaceous figure and well-endowed breasts. She has long waist-length raven hair usually tied back in a high ponytail. Peach skin, and light purple eyes. She wears a purple choker around her neck that contains numerous small pins. She normally dresses in a small pink kimono and long purple stockings. She is human like him that got involved with the supernatural world like him. She was an odd person, but her skills in every weapons were unmatched by anyone. After finishing his training, Susanoo decided to give him a gift. The gift was the Aim no Murakumo no Tsurugi, or more commonly known as the Kusanagi, the holy sword that Susanoo gained after slaying the legendary 8-headed evil dragon, Yamada no Orochi. The Kusanagi is one of the few holy swords that had rivaled the original Excalibur. The original Kusanagi design didn't fit Naruto, so he asked Susanoo to alter it. It had a black scabbard and matching hilt, and was a larger size than a normal Chikudo, too. Then Naruto started to learn from the Ukai in Senjutsu. At the start, Naruto couldn't learn how to use chakra, so therefore couldn't learn Senjutsu, so after pulling some strings, the Shinto faction was able to get Sun Wukong to teach Naruto, considering that the monkey, Buddha, is the best Senjutsu user and the only one to help Naruto find a way to learn how to use it. Sun Wukong figured out that Naruto couldn't access his chakra point as easily as others, so the old monkey started to train him in Kai. Kai is the life force of the person, meaning that Naruto is learning how to manipulate his own life force. Something very dangerous. Chakra is manipulating the flow of Kai. Using chakra doesn't touch the life force of the person, so it's a lot safer. Chakra training is learning how to direct Kai into doing something. Think of chakra like driving a car. It's easy and fast to travel. Then think of Kai like walking, running. You can do a lot more with walking when traveling to places that a car can't reach, but is a lot of more work. Car may be easier and better, but walking have more benefits. 3. Naruto started to learn how to manipulate his own life force. But considering his Uzumaki heritage, it was difficult. His own life force is very strong, so learning how to manipulate took longer. Then Senjutsu training was far more dangerous as it should be. With chakra, you just direct Kai to nature energy and feel it interact with your Kai. Then it would give you the ability to learn Senjutsu. However, Naruto didn't do it this way. He needed to learn how to blend his Kai with nature energy. That took time to do. He needed to allow nature energy into his body and becoming one with the earth. After many beating to the head by the anti-senjutsu stick to force nature energy out of his body, he finally learned it. The results were promising. It forever changed his Kai to blend with his surrounding, meaning that he would always be considered normal as long as he is around normal people. This made Minato and Kushina very happy because that would mean any censor would have the most difficult time when searching for Naruto. Senjutsu user or not, censors would always look for something sticking out, but if Naruto is making himself part of the background, he wouldn't be found. It was that idea that he went to Shigure to learn how to be a ninja. However, Naruto's Senjutsu only give a boost to his physical power, magical power, sensing, and Kai. He didn't get to learn about using Senjutsu technique, but he was still happy with the results. Even after learning all of this, it wasn't enough for Naruto. He always believed that he could get stronger. He started to dive in his Kai training. Seeing that his parents hasn't contributed to Naruto training, they felt bad. During his 13th birthday, Kushina gave him an Uzumaki relic. It was an essence flame. 4. Essence flame can be considered as the god of fire. It was an idiotic idea from one of Naruto's ancestor to create an all-powerful flame that all flames would obey it. When an essence flame is present, all other flames fear and follow it because they are the king of flames and all other flames naturally serve it. Then another Uzumaki got the idea of sharing it with other Uzumaki and broke it down into multiple essence flame. Currently, There are 23 essence flame that exist. In all essence flame, they have their own unique ability, but all can perform some of the same moves, like forming wings to fly. 5. Essence flame may be only available to Uzumaki and to those they gift it to. But that doesn't mean all Uzumaki can use it. To use essence flame, the person needs to absorb it into their kai, making it part of your life force. Something very dangerous. All flames are powerful and destructive in their own way. If you can't conquer it, then it will burn you alive and destroy your very soul. Well, more like consume it, absorbing any flames. Even the weakest one can lead to certain death if you're not prepared physically or mentally. This was one of the reasons why it was broken down. Besides sharing it with the rest of the clan, the original essence flame couldn't be absorbed by any other Uzumaki, so they broke it down. However, many went missing over the year. Some were given to gods like Amaterasu and others were stolen. However, what many failed to realize until it was too late that the essence flames serve as a replacement bloodline for the Uzumaki. Only an Uzumaki can absorb it for its power. Any other can only use it a lantern or power source, depending on which essence it is. Only an Uzumaki can change it, so others can absorb it and use it. One such example is the essence flame, Amaterasu. It was named after Amaterasu, of course. It's flames that would only obey the wielder and can't be extinguished by anything. It was given to Amaterasu as a gift. Naruto's present was one of the strongest essence flame. The purifying lotus demon flame. It's an essence flame that takes the form of a white lotus, giving Naruto white flames, a very powerful flame with its own unique properties. The purifying lotus demon flame is the third strongest flame out of the 23 created. Its ability allows the user to purify anything to the point of nothingness. As an essence flame, it can burn away all that stands in its path. But it can also travel via emotion, if the user focus on someone's emotion. The flame can enter them instead of the usual fire attacks. It's unknown why it travels through emotions, but like most of the strongest essence flame, it's mysterious and have some form of sentient life. When Naruto was absorbing it, the purifying lotus demon flame accepted him. The previous Uzumaki died in agony when they tried. Kushina was very worried about offering him this flame, but it was acting strange when Kushina arrived to take one of the flames they had in their possession. Kushina couldn't resist picking that one, as the flame was compelling her to give itself to Naruto. Don't believe that Naruto was training only, he spent a lot of time with Kuno, someone that he got really close to during puberty. He started to have feelings for Kuno, especially after seeing her well-developed body. 6. At the age of 15, they started to date, something that Yusaka and Kushina would always tease them about. Kushina and Yusaka went behind their kids' back to set up an arranged marriage for the two. The mothers wanted to surprise the kids and tease them about it when they told him. Minato wouldn't be able to stop Kushina. Whenever she had an idea, it was impossible to stop her. He had to learn it the hard way. As for Kuna's dad, Kurama, he really didn't care about him. He loves his daughter, but didn't see anything wrong with Naruto. One day, Naruto met another girl, woman, flashback. Due to the bad relationship between the Shinto faction and the Devil faction, all devils aren't allowed into Japan without permission from Amaterasu herself. In the past century, many high-class devil have went to Earth to find recruitment for their peerage, either by powerful races like the Yukai or special humans. Humans with great power like the Uzumaki clan or people born with sacred gears. Sacred gears are powerful objects that God created and arranged it to be given to humans at all time. Whenever a possessor of a gear dies, they're immediately reincarnated into another human to avoid being lost. The sacred gears were created by the biblical God, so humans would have a weapon for humanity to use to protect themselves from the supernatural world. As for the Uzumaki clan, there hasn't been one that was reincarnated into a devil due to their stubbornness and due to them being forgotten by many. Devils use their evil piece to reincarnate any race into a devil. Forcefully or by choice, it didn't matter to the devils. After the Great War, the three biblical factions faced extinction. The war killed many fallen angels, and devils. That was the main reason the ceasefire occurred. They didn't want to go extinct. For the devils, in an attempt to raise their numbers, Ajuka Beelzebub, formerly Ajuka Astaroth, created the evil peace system. However, devils found it as a way to make some slaves after so many of their own dying and needed replacement. It later became a game for the devils, build a peerage out of the strongest, which many have done. Very few uses the system to actually bring up their number. Yukai has been seen as a far more superior race compared to humans, but not strong enough like vampires to reincarnate. There were many cases that Yusaka got reports of Yukai becoming devils by force and aren't able to save them because they immediately fall under devil's jurisdiction. This brought up conflict with Yasaka and the new leaders of the devil faction. The devils refused to give up their people or the devil that was marked as criminals by Shinto. It seems like that war would arise again when Kurama came into the next meeting between the faction. However, Sirzek proposed to show that devils weren't bad as they thought. He proposed that they allow a Yukai race live in the underworld with them. After fierce debating, they accepted to their term and let the Nekomata live in the underworld. Before the war, the Nekomata once lived in the underworld, but returned back to Japan when it started. This was a chance for them to live in the underworld again. But Kurama tried to talk them out of it, saying it was too dangerous and the devils should not be trusted. Unfortunately, his words fell on deaf ears. After a few years, an incident occurred and they were wiped out. Yasaka and Kurama were furious about the devil's action. The devil claimed that they were too dangerous to let live after one Nekomata killed a high-class devil. The funny part was that Nekomata, or Nekosho to be exact, was a reincarnated devil, so she fell under devil's jurisdiction. However, the devils turned a blind eye about that fact and wiped out the entire race. The Shinto gods got involved with the incident. They usually allow Yasaka do all the work, but this was something that they couldn't ignore. It was decreed that any devils on Japanese soil would be seen as a stray devil or an invading force and be assigned for war. Sirzek or Ajuka couldn't do anything about their decree, so they would have to mark any devils that went to Japan as a stray to avoid war. Seraphal Leviathan, another devil leader, received news that their relationship with other pantheons weren't that good, so war with Shinto faction could bring in others, especially the Hindu faction, because Sun Wukong is considered part of their faction, but as well as a Yukai, so they had some form of an alliance, and considering that most of the top 10 strongest are filled with Hindu gods didn't sit well with them. Now let's get back to Naruto. Naruto started to do jobs from Kurama. He wanted to get rid of Naruto as much as possible. Naruto, I have a job for you, Kurama said from his throne. Kurama is a tall, muscular man with red hair and amber eyes. 7. He preferred his human form more than his kitsune form or kyubi form. His kitsune form, showing his tails and ear, gave out of dominating aura, and his kyubi form is just a giant 9-tailed fox. His human form was less straining on his power and more comfortable for himself. For the kyubi, he didn't care about his position as the strongest. He acknowledged his own power, but doesn't become overconfident when facing an enemy. Overall, he can be considered a lazy man in general. He is one that wouldn't involve himself unless he has to. This was the main reason why he refused to lead the Yukai faction. He wanted to relax with his family and friends. Hey old man, Naruto said with a wave. What is it this time? Kurama tossed him an airplane ticket. You're going to Tokyo. We have reports of a devil in town and the last batch of men I sent died. You should be okay. Aren't you afraid that I would die? Naruto deadpanned. Of course not, he said with a smirk. If you die, then Kuno would spend time with me. If you live, then Kuno would be happy. I win either way. Kurama may like Naruto, but he does have the same overprotective father instinct. It just happens to be a weird one. Damn kitsune, Naruto muttered. Come now Naruto, if you come back alive we can go have fun. Kurama answered back with a mischievous, for a lazy man or kitsune, he is still a kitsune that likes to have fun and cause some chaos somewhere. You better treat me to ramen first, he shouted. No problem, he said with a clap. Naruto took the tickets and left to Tokyo to hunt down the devil. Naruto didn't waste time searching for the devil. He didn't like innocents dying, and having a stray devil around would lead to many deaths. Considering that all devils are forbidden to enter Japan, they couldn't send anyone to kill the stray, so it was left to the Shinto faction. The surviving Nekomatas and other Yukai still held a grudge against the devils and would kill to get a chance to have some payback. Naruto started to gather nature energy into his body to find the devil. He tracked the energy to an alleyway where he finds a group of dead devils and one standing devil left. My oh my, it looked like that the devils did come to Japan after the decree, Naruto said to get the stray's attention. At least they're dead. You stray want to tell me who you are. I sense that you're a Yukai, but can't tell exactly which one. Reincarnated devils are hard to sense with senjutsu. Getting the stray to pay closer attention to him. Nya, Nekomata, he thought. He has met a few Nekomata before in Kyoto and each one always say Nya or try to stop saying it. It was like Naruto with his verbal tic, databaya. Naruto would occasionally say it by accident. He did his best to stop the verbal tic. It was embarrassing when Kuno first heard it and wouldn't leave him alone about it. Looks like I have been caught, Nya, the female Nekomata said. For Naruto, he already absorbed the surrounding nature energy, so she sensed him as a human. Nekomata are one of the Yukai race that are exceptional when mastering senjutsu, but Naruto is an exception that she can't sense properly. She could only sense him as a human more in tune with nature. Like a sage or monk that meditate often, the Nekomata dove straight for him with her claws ready. Clang clang, only for her attack be blocked by a katana. What surprised the reincarnated devil, Nekomata, it was a fellow Nekomata that blocked her. I won't allow you to hurt master, the newcomer shouted in anger. She has long black hair with a blue tint that extends all the way down to her hips. She wears her hair in a long ponytail with a pink bow holding it in place. This is Himari Noihara, a Nekomata that devoted her life to protect the Uzumaki clan like her ancestors. When Naruto was brought to Kyoto, she was immediately introduced to Naruto and assigned to be his protector by her family. She didn't have any problem accepting her duty, but Naruto did. She would always treat him like a prince, which he technically is, and it annoyed him. Naruto would do his best to break that habit. After an incident, she changed and became more friendly and flirty with him. Double flashback. Naruto was 11 at the time and he wanted to explore Japan more, to the disapproval of his mother. For the last time, Naruto. I said no, it's too dangerous, Kushina said. She didn't want him to be in danger too soon, but it's in his blood to do what he wants and wouldn't give up. Please. Naruto begged on his knees while using his infamous puppy dog eyes. The answer is still no, Kushina stated without hesitation. Che. That didn't work, he thought. His puppy dog eyes would usually work. Come on, Kushina-chan. We both know that Naruto won't give up, Minato said. During Minato childhood, he liked going out exploring as well. The difference between him and Naruto is that Naruto have parents and is a hell a lot more stubborn than him. Minato would be talked out of his ideas most of the time by his caretaker or friends, but Naruto won't. Being the son of an adventurous blonde and stubborn Uzumaki is the worst nightmare for parents. It's too dangerous and he is too young. Kushina stated. She didn't care if she was the same way as Naruto as a kid, she wouldn't put Naruto in danger. How about this, we let him go further out of Kyoto. Minato tried to compromise. There are some criminals out there that we haven't dealt with, we can let Naruto do it, he is trained in this way, he would still be close by to be safe. Naruto hope rise as he watched his father try to help him. After a moment of thought, fine. Yada. But, getting his attention, you have to take Himari-chan, she is your bodyguard. Hi. Naruto said happily. Himari-chan. Where are you? He shouted to find his friend, bodyguard. Scene change, Himari-chan. Naruto shouted. He saw her get blown away by a devil. It started as a simple task as to deal with a mugger in one of the Inu district. There were reports that some of the Inu yokai were being attacked by an unknown. This district was known for the elderly Inu yokai, so they couldn't really track down and deal with the mugger. They had to report it to Central, the place where yokai mainly live and hold their forces. The mugger turned out to be a stray devil, or so they thought, but it was odd for strays not killing their prey. Ha ha ha. I was told that the Nekomata race were already extinct, lucky me. I get to go back a hero after my mission is done, the devil shouted. He was one of the devils that were expendable for the devil faction. He was sent to gather information on the yokai, but would be acknowledged that he is a stray if the yokai found out. It was a common tactic used by the devils. It was usually done for gather intel for unknown reason, peerage scouting, or some other unknown reason. The law didn't stop their greed. This devil was one of the one that participate in the Nekomata purge. Damn you. Naruto threw a few kunai at him and went to check on Himari. Himari-chan. Are you alright? He asked her while holding her in his arms. Master, she said weakly, run, your life is more important. No, I won't leave you alone to die. You're my friend and someone precious to me. I rather die than abandon you, he said with great determination in his eyes. It stunned her. You will die with the cat, human. The devil said as he fired a demonic bullet at the pair. Move, master. Himari shouted. Naruto just stood up to block the attack with body. No. She shouted in tears. She didn't want him to be harmed, especially now after his little speech. Naruto just stuck his hand forward, perpendicular to his body, and crossed them. Heavenly beam. Naruto shouted. A golden magic circle appeared at the tip of his hands, then disappeared to show that the spell has been activated. Several golden beam made of holy and celestial magic shot out and easily destroyed in the devil's attack and instantly vaporized the devil. The weak devil couldn't survive against holy magic. Maybe light, but not holy. Himari could only stare at Naruto, seeing that he is more than capable of protecting him. It was the first time she saw him using heavenly body magic and she didn't realize that it was this powerful. Even after hearing about the legend, Naruto turned around to face her. You alright, Himari-chan? Naruto asked. I am fine, master. We should head back and report to your parents and Yusaka-sama, she said as she tried to get up, but failed. Naruto turned around and started to crouch. Get on. I will carry you, Naruto said, offering his back to carry her. But master. I see can't no buts, I want leave until you get on, he said stubbornly. Fine, she climb on him, we will tell them later, your health comes first, he said in a tone that shouted, don't argue with me. Doki Doki Himari started to blush. Hi master, she said while burying her face deeper into his back. When will you ever stop calling me master? I told you, Naruto is fine, he said. She blushed even more, she was glad that he couldn't see her now. Hi, Naruto-kun, she said happily, but with a muffled sound. Since then, she started being more of a friend to Naruto and would flirt, seduce him. It didn't sit well with Kuno. Double flashback end. Another Nekomata, the stray said quietly. Why are you serving a human? She asked. Naruto-kun is my master. I will protect him to the day I die, she shouted proudly. Himari-chan. What are you doing here? I thought I left you back here in Kyoto, Naruto said casually. Sorry Naruto. I heard that this devil killed the last people that came here and thought it would be safer if I follow, she said sheepishly. Whatever, now, devil or do you prefer Nekomata? Naruto asked the stray. It surprised her to see that Naruto figured it out. I prefer Nekosho. The name is Kuroka by the way, she said while checking out Naruto closer with senjutsu, still unable to see through him. As in Stray Chuckle Cat, Kuroka, he said while chuckling at the pun of the title given to her by the devils. That's right NYA. So what's your story for going stray? Getting a surprised look from both cats, Himari knew that Naruto rarely show mercy to devil and wouldn't hesitate to deal with them, but it seems his kind nature is in control now. I only heard that you killed your master in a drunken state of senjutsu uses, he said with air quotes, then that led to your race near genocide. Tell me your story, he said seriously. She stared in his eyes to see if he had any other plans. Only to see nothing deceptive in his eyes or her senses didn't say anything. She gave in to his demands, not knowing why. She just felt that he can be trusted. My master was planning to put my little sister in one of his experiment after we made a deal that I become part of his peerage and he take us both him. I killed him to stop it, but failed in getting my sister before the devils capture her first. I had to run away and hope that she survived, she answered. After hearing her story and giving it some thought, do you want to be a Nekosho again? He asked, surprising her. Himari knew what he was talking about. Naruto was thinking of using the purifying lotus demon flame. He tried it on reincarnated devils before, but all were former humans, the purification work, but they couldn't survive the process and died after becoming human again. That's impossible. There is no way to change back, she shouted. She was in denial. She was always proud of being of Nekosho, but becoming a devil was necessary. Tell me, do you know about the Uzumaki clan? He asked. Only to get a nod. All Yukai knew about the Uzumaki clan. They were heroes to all of Japan in the supernatural world. They protected them from during the Great War and saved many lives. Naruto raised his hand and channeled Kai into it. A white flame lit up in his palm. This is the purifying lotus demon flame, the third strongest essence flame and have the ability to purify anything. Kuroka could only stare at it in disbelief. She knew about the essence flame that the Uzumaki created and how powerful they are. Especially the top 5 ranking flames due to their mysterious behavior. Many of the flames could challenge the flame of various gods, goddess. Even Amaterasu's flame isn't as strong as the essence flame. Amaterasu, her flame was a powerful flame, but could only burn things like any other flame magic. After absorbing Amaterasu, her flames became black and couldn't be put out for 7 days and 7 nights. Only Amaterasu had control of the flames. Anyone else would be burned till they turned to ashes. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Naruto Uzumaki, he said with his usual grin. Can you really? She asked quietly, but loud enough to be heard. Technically yes, I have done it in a couple of reincarnated devils. But they died, then again, they were humans before and couldn't survive my flames. You would be the first non-human reincarnated devil to try it on. No guarantee on survival, but I do guarantee on becoming a Nekosho again. He said confidently without a single sign of arrogance. Kuroka was conflicted about the offer. She really wanted to become a Nekosho again. But there was a chance of dying. She still had to find her sister, but for all she knows, she was killed like the others in the purge. The reason she hid in Japan is due to the devil faction being in another Cold War state with another faction. The angels and fallen angels didn't bother the other faction much. It was only the devils bothering others due to their desire to reincarnate anyone powerful into a devil. Please. Kuroka dove in for a hug. She held onto Naruto tightly. Change me back. Please, she said with some tears in her eyes. Himari allowed this to go on because she knew that Naruto was being his kind self and she would want to help her fellow Nekomata. Okay. I hope you can survive. But first, we should do this somewhere safe. He turned to Himari. Himari, I am going to need you to perform senjutsu to heal her while I get rid of the evil piece in her back in the hotel. Can you perform senjutsu to heal yourself, Kuroka? She nodded. Good, if all three of us perform senjutsu and focus on healing you, you might survive better than the others I tried to save, he said happily. Kuroka felt something that she hasn't felt in a long time, she felt hope. At the end of the day, they started the procedure. He had Kuroka focus her emotion on her negative feelings like lust or anger. She of course wanted to focus on lust, but it was too close to a Nekomata. So she focused on her anger toward her master and her devil part. It was one way to focus on the evil piece. As devil, they have negative feelings, so this would help him get rid of the evil piece. Naruto used his senjutsu to only boost the power of his essence flame. Himari and Kuroka used senjutsu to heal the latter. Naruto channeled the purifying lotus demon flame through her emotion of anger. At the end it worked and she became 100% Nekosho. Naruto offered to come join the rest of her race back in Kyoto, saying that she won't be persecuted or arrested. They had problem with devils, not the Nekomata or her. She was quickly accepted to the Shinto faction and her fellow cats. News spread that the stray cat was with the Shinto faction and the devil didn't like it. Sirzek arrived with some of his peerage member for Kuroka, only to be surprised that the Shinto faction refused them and stated that she is a Nekosho and no longer a devil. So she didn't fall under their law anymore, forcing Sirzek to mark her as a criminal for the devil race. The relationship between the two factions hasn't improved after Kuroka recruitment. The devils were afraid of losing their powerful reincarnated like how they lost Kuroka. They wanted to find out how, so they can fix the evil peace system, but failed to get their answer. Anything related to Naruto was kept hidden and credit was given to Himari. It didn't bother Naruto if someone else got the credit, it was for the best, even if Kushina wanted to protest about it. Since then, Kuroka would try to have Naruto make babies with her. She fell in love with him and knew that he was powerful. It was a win-win for her. She get to have powerful babies and have true love. Himari and Kuroka would always compete for Naruto due to them being Nekomatas. It didn't sit well with both Kuno and Kushina. Kushina didn't like how vulgar that Kuroka was like. Susanoo supported Naruto's harem route. Minato wisely stayed out of it like Kurama. Both had to deal with their wife. Daughter complained about the newcomer. Yusaka and Amaterasu found new teasing material. Flashback end. Heavenly Plains. Naruto and his merry harem live happily in Kyoto. Naruto grew up to be rank in the double digit. Over the years, he faced many people that showed up to Japan that he had to deal with. He met many people of the other factions. Now Naruto is facing an assignment from Amaterasu. Naruto-kun, I have a job that you may or may not like, Amaterasu said. What is it this time? Naruto asked. You're going back to Kuo town, she said happily. After a minute of silence, what's the catch? That sound too simple to be a job. You're right like always. A year ago, we allow a pair of devils rent it and become overseers of your hometown, she said. What? Why? Let me explain. They're the little sister of Lucifer and Leviathan. They wanted to come to Japan for a long time, but I don't know why Kuo. We refused of course, but they offer something we couldn't refuse. What would that be? That would be this. Susanoo shouted from behind Naruto holding something. Seaman. Naruto shouted his nickname for the super pervert known as Susanoo. Naruto saw what it was in his hand. 8. Damn it. I told you to not call me that, Susanoo responded. Is that? Naruto said unbelievably. Yup, an essence flame. The bone-chilling flame, one of the most unique and powerful flame. Even if it's rank 11th, the cold abilities that it gives out makes it more difficult to be overpowered by some of the single-digit ones. Susanoo answered, apparently the devils stole this one. They tried to absorb it, but failed every time. I heard that the genius, Ajuka, failed to learn anything about it. I am afraid that the devils may have more of your flames, but we can't go down to hell and start tearing shit up. They gave it back in exchange for allowing the two heiresses become overseers. Of course there are several conditions and they broke them. What did they do? Naruto asked seriously. He knew how bad the relationship between the two are and if they allow this to go on, it can't be good. There are 16 people dead due to their inaction, since they arrived to Kuo. The fallen angel followed them. The fallen have killed several people under their watch. The devils are only covering it up and they're not compensating the family that lost their own to the crows. One of the conditions for not having a representative in Kuo is that the heiress makes sure that no one is harmed. 16 deaths is the last straw and they still allow the crows to stay illegally. Amaterasu said while flaring up her power. They were Japanese people and some were believers of the Shinto faith. So this didn't sit well with her. I am sending you to watch them. You don't have to reveal yourself unless you want to. You're to monitor them. If we have one more person die, then you or send message to me and we will decide what to do from there. Alright. Naruto started to leave. Oh, before I forget, Shigure is going with you. Getting a surprised look from Naruto. She is an adult, so she would be the responsible adult. Also, if something happens, she would take care of it, she said with air quotes when she said responsible. Okay. Oh brat. Susanoo shouted, you should absorb this. He handed the bone-chilling flame to him. It would be helpful to have around. Try not to use heavenly body magic or the purifying lotus demon flame as much as possible. It's important for you to have some triumph cards, he said with a grin. Thanks Seaman. He took the flame with him. Naruto started to pack up to go back to his hometown. However, there were some people that wanted to come along. One is his always faithful guardian angel, Himari Noihara. She wouldn't allow him to go anywhere alone. The next person is Kuno. She wanted to go along and what was worse that her mother supported her decision. Then Kuroka refused to let Himari be the only Nekomata with him. She also joined under the guise of being the responsible adult, but she is as bad as Shigure when it comes to responsibility. A monitoring mission soon became something like a vacation for him. It didn't help that Susanoo was talking about them being his own harem. Naruto allowed the three to come along, but the Nekomata and Nekosho had to be in their cat form. Too much girls in one house would draw too much attention. Kuo Town. Evening. Damn, you guys didn't finish construction yet, Naruto said. Sorry sir, we will work through the night to finish it and it will be ready tomorrow morning, the foreman of the construction reassured. Okay, thanks. Naruto walked away after speaking to the foreman. Naruto's house in Kuo was under reconstruction. Kushina took the liberty to buy several houses surrounding their home to increase the size of it. It was being turned into a Japanese traditional residence compound with several modern modifications. They added a second floor to the buildings and a basement for a swimming pool. There is the main building where they live and where the basement in transit it. Then there is a dojo, a small garden, and a storage building in the estate. Surrounding the entire residence is a wall. 9. So we should rent a hotel tonight? Kuno asked while walking beside him. Maybe. I rather save some money. There is an old friend that still live here. I could ask them to let us spend the night there. Alright, the two headed toward to the house of his old friend. They were followed by a pair of black cats that happened to be Kuroka and Himari. Knock knock and brunette woman answer the door, only to find a pair of blonde teenagers. One was a girl wearing a red yukata. The other blonde was a boy with blue eyes in a black outfit. 10. There was also a pair of black cats at their feet. Oh, who are you two? The woman asked. Don't tell me you forgot about your troublesome blonde. He feigned being hurt. Naruto. She came in for a hug. It's nice seeing you two, Auntie Hyodo. He returned the hug. He was close to the Hyodo family that they were like uncle and aunts to him. The same could be said about his other friend's family. My oh my, look how you have grown, dear. Come look at who is at the door. Mrs. Hyodo called out for her husband. Who is it? He came to the door. Who are you? He asked while readjusting his glasses, unable to recognize the teen. It's Naruto dear. Naruto. My boy, look at ya. My you grown. He said happily while giving him a pat on the back. Oh, who is this? He looked at the girl. I am Kuno. I am Naruto's friend from Kyoto. It's nice to meet you. Kuno answered with a bow. Who? Ain't you a pretty lady? My, Naruto is sure lucky to be dating you. He isn't my boyfriend, girlfriend. They said embarrassingly while have a blush on their face. One of the cats was laughing at them. The parents was laughing at the pair as well. Well, I am back in town. My house is still under construction. The foreman said they would be done tomorrow morning. I was hoping that you will allow us to stay here for tonight. Of course, you and your friend and cats are welcome to stay the night. I expect that you allow us to see your home tomorrow, Mrs. Hyodo said with a grin. Of course, Naruto and his friends walk into the house. It was dinner time and Mrs. Hyodo cooked enough for all of them. Hey. Where is Issei? He asked as he enjoyed the meal. Oh, he isn't home yet. I am sure he would show up eventually. After you and Irina left, he started to become the little troublemaker like you. Haha. Look like you rub off him, Naruto-kun, Kuno commented. I wish, Mr. Hyodo said. He became a huge pervert recently, only to get a laugh from Naruto. He is still my friend. I hope to see him tomorrow. They enjoy the meal. Naruto and Kuno took the guest room to sleep in. Mr. Hyodo always talk about him being in a relationship with Kuno, seeing how they're sharing the room together. Morning. Ah. A scream came from the house. Dear. Issei is with a girl and they're naked. Mrs. Hyodo shouted. She saw Issei and a red-haired girl with a very large bust naked in his room. The scream woke up Naruto and Kuno and the cats. 11. Naruto. I sense two devils, Kuroka said. Damn. I don't want to reveal who we are yet. Everyone use senjutsu to look like humans, Naruto told the three girls. For now, we do nothing, we only watch them. Naruto and Kuno got dressed while Himari and Kuroka went back to their cat form. They headed off to eat breakfast. As the two blondes and parents ate, Issei and a redhead walked in to join them. Huh. Who are you two? Issei asked. Haha, don't tell me you forgot. Still getting a blank look from Issei. Do you remember? I know we will meet each other again. Maybe not now, maybe not for a while. But we will see each again in the future, Naruto said with a childish voice. The redhead was watching the blonde. Issei was her new pawn and she would want to know about his life. Naruto. Issei shouted. Naruto got up and went in for a hug. It's been a long time, he said happily. His old friend is back in town. Too long, Issei. Look at you, you got a girlfriend, he said as he gestured to the redhead. Oh, this is Rias Gremory, he introduced her to everyone. She isn't my girlfriend. What about you? He pointed to Kuno. They took their seats at the table. I am Kuno. I am from Kyoto. Kyoto. Really? Rias asked with stars in her eyes. Why yeah, me and Naruto-kun came from Kyoto. I came with him when he was coming back to his hometown. I am not Naruto-kun's girlfriend, Kuno answered. Then she picked up a black cat with a headband on her. This is Kuro. She is my pet. Kuno didn't want to use her real name because it would be obvious to devils. Kuro mean black in Japanese, so it fitted a black cat. Kuroka became a popular topic after she was returned into a neko show. Many high-class devils fear losing their servants to the one that changed Kuroka. There were some reincarnated that tried to get to Japan to see if they can be saved. Many have failed. Naruto picked up another black cat with a bow on her tail to introduce to everyone. This here is Himari. Himari licked his face to show her affection toward Naruto. Those two cats look like nice pets, Mrs. Hyodo commented. Era. Rias said to gather everyone's attention. Are you and Kuno joining Kuo Academy? She asked. She wanted to keep her eyes on them. Yes, we are. Technically today should be our first day, but the house construction wasn't done yesterday. Today, we would have to ditch today and go settle in our new house, Naruto said with a smile. Issei, can you tell the staff that Naruto Uzumaki and Kuno Uzumaki wouldn't be attending till tomorrow? Hey. I thought you said she wasn't your girlfriend. Issei shouted in anger and jealousy. She isn't, she is my fiancé. Naruto dropped the ball on everyone. Rias looked a little sad for some reason. What? The Hyodo family shouted. You guys should know that my family have their traditional roots to Japanese culture. So does Kuna's family. They arrange us to marry each other at the proper age. Naruto answered. The day that Kushina and Yusaka revealed the marriage contract didn't last long. Kuno fainted in happiness and Naruto had to face all their teasing and Susanoo's perverted blabbering. The marriage contract was made after Naruto and I met. We became close on the day he arrived to Kyoto. Okawa-sama and Kushina-san were very close during their childhood, Kuno said while blushing. Naruto was weakly laughing. Yeah, even though we aren't married yet, she took on the Uzumaki name already. It was embarrassing when we heard about the contract, but we are happy, he said while giving her a kiss. Issei looked even more jealous. They talked about life in Kyoto while finishing breakfast. Rias was the one asking the most question. Then they all headed out of the house. Issei. Naruto shouted to get his attention. Come by my house after school. It's a lot bigger now and you should know how much it changed. Alright. Issei shouted back. He followed Rias to school. Who are Naruto Uzumaki? Rias thought. Naruto led Kuno, Kuroka, Himari, and Hyodo parents to his house. This house is impressive, shouted Mr. Hyodo. Amazing. For a traditional house there are several modern rooms, Mrs. Hyodo said. Naruto introduced the Hyodo to his newly rebuilt house. To say the size is big is an understatement. The entire estate took over a couple of houses that were there before. The addition of a couple buildings like a storeroom and the dojo was something that Naruto requested. He wanted a place to train and a warehouse to store some of relics belonging to the Uzumaki clan. For a traditional family, they held a lot of antiques from Uzumaki history. Most of those antiques were kept at the storehouse whereas was locked up tightly and covered with Uzumaki's seals to prevent any form of entry. Only the blood that was registered into the seal can enter the storehouse. That would be the entire Uzumaki family by default. Kuroka, Kuno, and Himari. Shigure somehow already got into the storehouse before registering her blood. She refused to register herself considering that she could enter somehow. Inside the main house was pretty simple besides the furniture. All furniture were modern, something that you wouldn't expect in a traditional house. Built like one, but decorated as a modern home, the living room was comfortable, nice leather couch and a kotatsu table with a large flat-screen television to enjoy. Also, the entire kitchen was equipped with modern-day kitchen stove and other appliances. It was Kuno that requested the best kind of kitchen, considering that she does all the cooking. Naruto couldn't complain about her request. Plus, there were many spare rooms for new residents or guests. There was also the shrine room, a room dedicated for their Shinto religion. All kind of decoration designed for the gods and goddess of Shinto. There were even their picture, but the Kyoto thought it was their idea of how they look. An offering table for them, a cabin for incense burning, and much more. In near the portraits of the deities is a sword, a chikudo. It was the redesigned kusanagi that was given to Naruto by Susanoo. For one of the strongest holy sword, Naruto needed to keep it safe when he was around devils. Leaving it in a room the scream holy place will keep devils away. Besides, they can't enter with the bounded field around the estate. One of the most interesting room was something that Kuno and Naruto wanted to avoid showing to the Kyoto. It was their most shameful room. It was an otaku room. Both Naruto and Kuno was raised on tradition by their family. The anime culture that was a big boon for Japan was looked down by many traditional people. Amaterasu found it funny, Susanoo loved it, and Tsukuyomi hated it. It mocked their culture, so they would disapprove of it. Naruto and Kuno began to love anime like many others, but they were ashamed of it because how it goes against how they were raised. The garden outside was pretty big. It was full of many plants and a nice pond for koi fish. Overall it was tranquil, however it served another purpose. It was designed by Sun Wukong to be the perfect place for Naruto to gather nature energy and for others to meditate. There was also all the catnip around the garden. You could usually find Kuroka or Hamari rolling around the garden in their cat form. This is awfully a large house for only 2 people, Mr. Kyoto commented before being interrupted. Meow. Went 2 black cats to show that they exist. Sorry, for 2 people and 2 cats, happy? He asked the cats, getting a satisfied look, then nodded. Shouldn't there be a responsible adult to watch you too? I mean, I know that you're happily engaged to each other, but it's still irresponsible. Define responsible, Naruto asked, getting a confused look from the parents, until a shuriken cut Mr. Kyoto face. Ahaha. He screamed, starting to panic. He hid behind his wife. Wow. Calm down, Shigure-san. Their guest, Kuno shouted to the shadow. Oh, okay. Shigure came out of the shadow. Hello. I am Kasaka Shigure. Nice to meet you. Then she left to go gods know where. That W was Mrs. Kyoto stuttered out while being frightened by the woman. Our responsible adult. I have no idea why our parents assign her to be our guardian, but she is. I always call her a ninja because she carries weapons and move like one, Naruto said. I recommend not going to her room at all. Her old room back in Kyoto was full of booby traps. I am sure her new room would be too. Plus, announce yourself when you enter our home. She won't be kind if you're entering without letting her know first. Oh, okay. Both parents said. For the rest of the day, they enjoyed their stay at the Uzumaki residence. Issei was definitely surprised about the total renovation. He was wondering about the construction going on for the last couple of weeks at this place, only to see it to become a very large house. Issei decided to spend the night at Naruto's house to catch up on some old times. Hey Naruto. Issei shouted to get his attention from the living room. What's this room? Oh, you wouldn't like it, he said, carefully choosing his word. It's the Shinto rooms. Kuno and I were raised to be a traditional family, so it's natural for us to have one. You're Christian. You wouldn't want to bother about it, Naruto said as he led Issei back. Naruto knew why Issei questioned about it. It was his devil instinct to avoid the room because of the holy objects and the holy sword in it. It wasn't time to tell Issei the truth about him. Dinner is ready. Kuno shouted to get the 2 friends to come to the dinner table. They were currently eating upon a traditional Japanese table with cushions. They did have a regular dinner tables with chairs, but it was reserved for special occasions. Issei only looked at the expensive dishes and decorations. Man, where did you get all the money to pay for all this? The reconstruction alone must have been a fortune, plus that indoor pool is awesome. He asked happily when he thought about the indoor heated pool with a jacuzzi. He really want to go swimming in it. I mean, your old home was pretty normal. Issei. The Uzumaki family is one of the few family that keeps to Japan's tradition. My ancestors made a lot of money for their descents. My mother never cared about being rich, so our old house was like that, Naruto answered, getting a nod of understanding. Plus, Kuna's family is very rich. You can say I married into money. But my family is pretty loaded, he said with a laugh. Lucky bastard, I wish I was an Uzumaki, he thought, then look at Kuna's boobs. Man, he sure is lucky. Then he went back to his delicious food. I should look at her, she's my best friend fiancé. That's like her being my sister. He and Naruto was always close as kids that they consider each other brother. I just hope Motohama and Matsuda don't get hurt by Naruto. Tomorrow is the day he would take Naruto and Kuno to Kuo Academy. He knew that Naruto would attract a lot of girls and Kuno would attract a lot of boys. In the old school building, Akano, do you have anything on Uzumaki Naruto? Rias asked her black-haired friend with bigger boobs. Only that he was born here and moved to Kyoto. It seems that the Uzumaki family is one of the few family that kept their Japanese roots. I couldn't find anything on Kuno because she already registered herself as an Uzumaki, Akano asked. How about you, Kaneko? Did you find anything when you followed Issei? She asked the petite girl with white hair and hazel eyes. I only sense a lot of holy energy from the house, Kaneko said passively while eating her snacks. This made Rias serious. I am not surprised, Akano commented, only for Rias to look at her for answers. The Uzumaki are like Himejima clan, they aren't connected to the supernatural world like the Himejima. But they're ancient, they most likely have holy objects belonging to the Shinto faction. I remember seeing several in my old life, she said sadly, since the Uzumaki clan were famous throughout the Shinto faction, but many were jealous of their power and how they're favored by Amenominakanushi. Once they left the life of supernatural, they tried to hide as much of them from their own clan to sound like they're the strongest clan for the Shinto family. They kept the Uzumaki hidden out of jealousy mostly, but some other clan did it because the Uzumaki wanted to live a normal life. Akino's news relaxed Rias. She feared that a family from the church move into her territory. Okay. But keep an eye on them, everyone nodded. Kiba, tomorrow, bring Issei to the club room. The next day, Issei, Naruto, and Kuno left off to school. Kuroka and Himari were staying inside the house for the day. Shigure is off doing gods know what. For all the years Naruto knew her, he can never figure her out. She was too good at hiding. The only time he can find her is when he is using senjutsu. Thud. The three students turned their heads toward the sound, only to find a young nun that fallen. Issei went over to help her out. Are you okay? He asked her while he offered a hand. Owie. Why do I keep tripping over? Oh, I am sorry. She took Issei's hand for a lift up. Thank you very much. Then the wind blew, blowing her veil off, only for Issei to stare at her for a second, then went to chase the veil. Naruto could sense a growth and increase of his pheromones. Through the years of training his kai and senjutsu, he learned to naturally sense things. He sensed the increase around Issei. Turns out he's a pervert after all, Naruto thought with a sweat drop while he watched his friend chasing the veil. She asked for direction to the church and all three took them there. Naruto-kun. Kuno whispered to Naruto. All four of them were by the entrance to the church. She sensed abnormal life signatures. Yeah, I know. The crows are in there. Most likely their base. Man, Irina would be pissed about that. Naruto whispered back. Only for her to puff up in jealousy. She knew that Irina was his first female friend. But it didn't change how she feels. Well, deal with them when the times comes. She nodded. She went over to give her new friend, Asia Argento, a hug goodbye. Let's go. We don't want to be late for school. It's our first day. Naruto shouted to his two friends. See ya, Asia. He waved goodbye. She could only watch them leave while waving goodbye to her new friends. All three ran toward school with a few minutes before they were late. Naruto and Kuno had to go to the staff room to find their schedule. Naruto noticed that Sona Shitori and Tsubaki Shinra were watching them closely. Gremory must have told them about us, Naruto thought. The two blondes were assigned to the same classroom to Issei's class. The devils didn't have any involvement with that. Rias and Sona didn't have time to fix it, so they can decide their classroom. It was Shigure that set them up in that class. She knew that Issei is Naruto's friend and set it up for him. Shigure would give out an emotionless demeanor, but she really does care for her friends. Sona, the student council president, figured that their family set it up like that. She already studied about them and found out that they're an influential family. Okay class. The teacher said, we have two new students, come in here and introduce yourself. Two blondes walk right in. Everyone start to cheer for the newcomers, except for one. OMG, both of them are blonde. Look at her boobs, he's a hunk. Damn, she's sexy. Many of the students complimented them. The teacher got them to quiet down eventually. Issei already knew that Naruto and Kuno would get this kind of reaction. Hey, I am Uzumaki Naruto. I was born here, but moved to Kyoto. Now I am back. Nice to meet you, Naruto said nicely, getting the girls to check him out more. Kya. Are you single? Do you want to go out? Naruto only chuckled at their questions. I am Uzumaki Kuno, Kuno said happily. Are they siblings? They do have the same blonde hair, they questioned amongst themselves. I am from Kyoto and I am currently engaged to Naruto, she said while showing everyone the ring. It was a silver ring with a design that symbolized a kitsune and had a blood-red diamond in it. Of course, people had to take a closer look of the design to tell what it is. What? Everyone shouted, including the teacher. She couldn't believe that someone her age was already getting married. Yeah. Both of our parents come from a traditional family, so arranged marriage is common. I am just happy that it was set up after I fell in love with Naruto-kun, she said happily while grabbing onto his arm. Bastard. Most of the boys called out. Many wanted to ask the new girl out, only to find her already engaged. No. The girl shouted, they wanted Naruto for themselves. Enough. Shouted the teacher. She had enough of the slight pandemonium that was caused after the discovery of the two's status. Take your seat over there, the teacher ordered. The rest of the day, they would be asked questions by the students. Many boys didn't like Naruto already for being a handsome boy and stealing all the girls. Kuno was asked about life in Kyoto and her engagement. Many people were surprised to see Naruto hanging out with the perverted trio. Of course Matsuda and Motohama didn't accept him because of their jealousy. Most girls thought he was a pervert. Naruto didn't answer any questions because he felt he didn't need to. Kuno told them that Issei and Naruto are childhood friends and didn't care about his reputation. He would hang out with whoever he likes and his reputation can be damned. Many girls found it cool and soon started a fan club for him, much to his dismay and his friends' jealousy. At the end of the day, Naruto and Kuno headed home, while Issei headed to his club. At the club, Rias interrogated Issei about his friends. He told them only that his family is big on Shintoism. Rias wanted to confirm if Naruto was connected to the supernatural world or not based on the amount of holy energy the house have off, only to be relieved to hear it from Issei because he knew him longer. Rias gave him the full rundown of the supernatural world, well only the biblical side. How about the other religion, like Shintoism? Issei asked, considering that his childhood friend is a follower of it. The other gods like Zeus, Amaterasu, and Odin are all real, Rias answered. If they're real, does that mean all of Japan belongs to Shinto faction? I remember Naruto saying that the Shinto gods are like guardians of Japan. They do, but we own this territory, we managed to buy it off them. Rias lied. She didn't like the fact that she is renting the town she made her home. She asked her brother to buy this town for her, but was only able to rent it under certain conditions. She figured as long as the Shinto faction don't find out about her actions, she would be pretty much the owner of Kuo along with Sona. They divided their responsibly. Sona would handle internal matter and Rias would handle external matter. She reassured Sona that she was dealing with the fallen angels that invaded the town. Sona would always watch them, but due to her pact with Rias, it was her duty to handle them. Sona would only get involved if anyone of her peerage was attacked by them. Okay, Issei was sent off to try to get a contract with humans. His first one didn't end too well. It started with him being forced to bike over to his client's house. Inside the house, he found a mad priest crucifying a couple. A man and woman, both dead. Then, Issei was nearly killed if Asia didn't show up. It gave enough time for Rias to show up and save him. Issei refused to leave without Asia, but Rias managed to get him into the teleportation circle. When the fallen angels arrived, they picked up Fried and Asia and took them back to the church. In the shadows of the house, no one saw the girl in a small pink kimono who was following Asia. She was checking on the girl that befriended her charges. She couldn't kill the priest without putting Asia in danger. She wouldn't risk the innocent's safety. She went back home to inform Naruto about it. Naruto, we have trouble, Shigure told him when she arrived home. What is it? He was suspicious about the little girl that Shigure was holding. Dead, a couple, man and woman, killed by stray priest that was with the fallen. What? Naruto shouted in anger, flaring up the bone-chilling flame, burning things around him and freezing his friends. Naruto, calm down, Kuroka said while placing her hand on his shoulder. Out of everyone, she is the only one capable of lasting against the essence flame during Naruto's emotional rampage, finally calming down. Tell me everything. I followed the girl, Asia. She was with a stray priest that went to kill a couple. If I interfere, the girl would be endangered. Then Issei showed up, most likely for a devil contract. He was attacked, but was saved by Gremory and her peerage. They took him away when low-level fallen angels showed up. They didn't attempt to stop them, Shigure told him, this time, without any of her usual pauses because Naruto wanted to know right now. Damn them. I'll head back to Kyoto. It will be faster to make it official if I went personally. Naruto said as he summoned his bluish-white kai wings. He grabbed the kusanagi as he was preparing to come back to kill the crows. He placed it on the back of his hip. 2. Then Naruto flew over to Kyoto. It would be faster to talk personally to them and send out the message to the devils. A phone call now wouldn't be picked up. Heavenly Plains. It took all night for Naruto to fly back to Kyoto and enter Heavenly Plains. Most people were still asleep. The only one with enough authority that was up was Tsukuyomi. Naruto. What are you doing here? Tsukuyomi asked. Sensei, something happened, Naruto said seriously. What happened? He asked seriously. A few hours ago, a couple was killed by fallen angels, Naruto said while flaring up his power. He was angry for the loss of 2 lives and the overseers of his town did nothing about it. Go back and deal with them. I am making you the official owner of Kuo Town. The devils lost their right to be overseers and I'll send the news now, Tsukuyomi said. He then began to walk away to send the message to the Maos about the news about their little sisters. Thank you. Naruto then summoned his wings and flew back to Kuo. Next day, nighttime, church, Naruto flew back and went straight for the church. Naruto was in front of the church and he sensed a lot of people. He sensed Asia underground. He then crouched and started to focus his power into Kusanagi that was in his hand. Kusanagi was still in its sheath. For Issei, he went to go back to school. Then he ran into Asia and hang out for the day. Then he was attacked by his killer, Rainier. She attacked him and captured Asia. Later, he went to Rias to ask for her help, only for her to tell him no. But in an odd way, Kiba and Kaneko went with Issei to the church. Naruto. Issei asked when he saw his friend at the church at night, what are you doing? Kiba and Kaneko was closely watching him. Kiba was watching closely because he sensed holy energy from Naruto's sword. Issei. I am part of the supernatural world like you, he said with his eyes closed. He was busy focusing power. This shocked the three. By Kaneko's ability to sense people, Naruto was absolutely normal. What? Issei asked in shock. If you're part of the supernatural world, then why didn't you inform us or Rias Bucko? She does own this, Kiba asked, but was interrupted by Naruto's outburst. Don't you dare say that. We both know that Kuo belongs to the Shinto faction. Gremory and Citri merely rent this town, he said, shocking Issei further. He was told otherwise. Kiba and Kaneko flinch at Naruto's response. I am part of the Shinto faction. Due to the incident last night, I was given ownership of Kuo Town. You can't do anything without my permission anymore unless you want to be kicked out or start a war. What about Asia? She's in danger. We can't leave her. Issei shouted. He thought that Naruto was forbidding him to save her. She's our friend. I know. That's why I am saving her. It's the duty of owner or overseer of a territory to keep the peace. Gremory and Citri failed in that. This is how you deal with illegals, Naruto said. He opened his eyes. He then tapped the ground in front of the church with the end of his blade that was still in its sheath. Breaking point. 3. It caused a small-scale earthquake to occur, tearing apart the ground in front of them. Shocking the three even further in Naruto's display of power. The reason it took Naruto a while to focus his power is due to him wanting to save Asia. He needed to kill all those stray priests quickly without endangering his friend. He got up and drew the Kusanagi. It was radiating in holy power. Kiba tightened his hand on his sword when he saw Naruto's sword. This is officially Shinto's business. Stay out of it. Naruto then jumped down into the ruins of the church into the underground chamber. Kiba, Kaneko, and Issei couldn't move. They froze in fear of Naruto's power. It surpassed theirs and their king. Down in the underground chamber, most of the stray priests were killed by the cave in that Naruto caused when he brought down the church. What the hell? Shouted the fallen angel. That outfit suggests that she was a stripper. Naruto came out of the smoke and started to approach her with the Kusanagi ready. Naruto was channeling his the bone-chilling flame into it, making the room seem like it was freezing, similar to how cold the touch of death is like. This is the end, Crow. Ha. A human like you think you could defeat a fallen of Grigori Rainier bragged about her being a superior race, but was cut off. I mean literally cut off. Naruto quickly speed up to her and cut off her head in the middle of her monologue. Her body soon turned to ashes due to the chilling bone flame coursing the Kusanagi. Filthy crow, Naruto muttered. He then went over to the unconscious nun that was on the cross and cut her down. It seemed like the crow was trying to extract her sacred gear. She needs medical attention now. He then grew up Kai wings again and flew out of the ruins of the church, only for all the known members of Rias Peerage to be waiting for him. What are you doing in my territory? Rias asked seriously. She recently got here after dealing with the other fallen angel. Ha. Your territory. You only rent my town from Amaterasu-sama. I was sent here after the discovery of the violation of the contract. Last night incident with the death of 2 humans by the hands of a stray priest was the last straw. Tsukuyomi-sensei has given me his authority to reclaim my home. You and the Sea-Tree heiress have lost all right to be territorial overseers as of last night. Whether you and all the other devils stay in Kuo is up to me, Naruto said. How dare you? Do you think I'll believe a word you say? Rias shouted in outrage. She hasn't been spoken to like that ever. She thought Naruto was bluffing. Naruto began to laugh. He drew his sword again to show off its power. He then stuck it to the ground. This is Aim no Murakumo no Tsurugi. It's also known as Kusanagi no Tsurugi. I call it the Kusanagi for short. It was given to me by Susanoo. It's one of the few holy swords that's on par with the original Excalibur. Naruto shouted. Kiba's hair started to cover his eye and he started to shake in rage. All the devils back away from Naruto. The holy energy it was giving off was frightening for them. If this isn't enough proof to show that I am from the Shinto faction, then come and attack me, he ordered her. Nobody moved. Kiba wanted to attack, but in the presence of a holy sword on that caliber was too frightening. Then move out of the way. The girl needs healing. The only way to save her now is to reincarnate her, Rias said. She was trying to sound noble with the effort to reincarnate her. She is hurt, yes, but your help isn't necessary. She will die without Bocha's help. Naruto. Issei protested. She didn't want his friend to die. Like I said, it won't be necessary. Rias only frowned. Kuroka. He shouted. Kaneko. Kiba. Akeno. And Rias froze. They knew that name very well. Nya, you knew I was watching. Kuroka said from the tree nearby in her cat form. Rias and Issei recognized that was the same cat that he had when they first met. She then jumped down and changed back into her Nekosho form. Nya, hello Sharon. I am sorry for not seeing you sooner, she said happily. Kaneko started to shake in fear. Sharon? Issei muttered. He didn't know anyone by that name. How did you know I was here? Kuroka asked. Simple, I smell silver vine sake. Only you and Himari drink that. Himari only drinks it on special occasion, and if Himari was here, she would have attacked Gremory for the disrespect already. Naruto answered. She only looks sheepish. Take Asia back home and heal her, Naruto ordered. I like it when you get assertive, Nya. Kuroka said happily. She snapped her fingers and she and Asia teleported away. Go and tell Sona Sea-Tree that you and your peerage no longer have any authority in my town. I'll decide if you should be evicted or not, Naruto said as he started to walk away. He needed to talk to Shigure and cover up the deaths and the incident last night. Issei. He shouted to get his attention. Asia will be saved. I'll explain everything later. But know that you're my friend. Even though you're a devil, you're still my friend. Remember, I always keep my promises. Let's make a promise that we will see each other again. For better or worse, we will still be friends. Those words rang throughout Issei's friend. I expect that your brother and Sea-Tree's sister will appear in tomorrow to negotiate with me about the contract you two have violated. Issei. I will answer your question there. There is a lot of secrets I kept from you. But then again, I am not the only one keeping secrets from you. He then looked at Rias. Issei turned to who Naruto was looking at. He now understood what he meant. It meant that Rias was keeping secrets from him as well. Then Naruto left. This day is the worst, Rias said tiredly. She just lost the town she owned. Kiba's anger with holy swords is resurfacing and the chances of him attacking Naruto is high, and she has to explain to Sona what happened tonight. Next day, it was a quiet day for Issei. Naruto showed up to school like normal. But he knew something serious was about to happen later. He didn't go and peep on the kendo club with Matsuda and Motohama like usual. Kuno stayed home to watch over Asia. She was still weak from last night's incident. Instead, Kuroka and Himari followed him to school. Something was going to happen between Naruto and the devils, so they came along just in case. Also, the fact that Sona was glaring at Naruto when he arrived, she was already told about what happened last night and didn't like the outcome. Flashback. What? That was the scream of Sona Sea-Tree. She is usually composed and collected, but the news she just received was too much. After a few seconds to calm down, she pushed her glasses up and continue on with her conversation with Rias. What do you mean we lost ownership of Kuo? Sona asked calmly, but the blood vessel popping out of her forehead suggests she was angry. Uzumaki Naruto, he's from the Shinto faction. He reported to the gods about the incident with the fallen angels and he was given ownership of Kuo. Rias asked while tightening her grip. She didn't like the news at all. Is there proof that he is from the Shinto faction? He could be bluffing? No, he had the Aim no Murakumo no Tsurugi. It looked different to the picture we had, but the holy energy it was giving out was real. He could have killed me and my cute servants if he wanted in one slash. Also there is the fact that Kuroka was with him. The last news we have on her is that she joined the Shinto faction. Her present alone is proof. She answered with a hint of anger. She didn't take threats to her or her peerage lightly. This isn't good. Our relationship with the Shinto faction has been borderline war already. Sona said. She was thinking about all the high-class devils that came to Japan to look for peerage member. They were all killed by the Shinto faction and the leaders of the devil faction did nothing about their deaths. Also, the fact about the Nekomata purge, the biggest factor to shift them into a state of war with Japan. Many yokai snuck into the underworld to kill devils and the devils did the same to the yokai. The only difference is that the yokai were organized and came home safe and with their dead that were killed in the attack. It was more of a suicide mission for the devils. I thought you would handle the fallen angels? Sona asked while narrowing her eyes at her friend. I was handling them, Rias replied. I didn't get the chance to take them out. I meant before, you had plenty of chances to evict or kill them before Uzumaki-san ever arrived. Why did you let them roam around killing people? I needed them to kill Issei, so I can reincarnate him, she answered weakly. She knew what she'd done was wrong, but she was desperate. Sona could only look sadly at her friend. The day was arriving soon for her and she didn't want it. Unfortunately, desperation may have cost them or their entire race. End of flashback. At the end of the school day, Issei took Naruto to the old school building. Kiba or Kaneko would usually do it, but they couldn't do it for Naruto. Kiba hated Naruto for possessing a holy sword and Kaneko was having mixed feeling due to seeing her older sister again. At the old school building were Sona Citri, Rias Gremory, Seraphal Leviathan, and Searsex Lucifer. The meeting was only being held for those in charge. Naruto entered the room with 2 cats on his shoulder. Out of the people with the Shinto faction, Kuroka was the one with the most dealing with devils. They all took their seats at the couch, devils on one side and Shinto on the other. Hamari and Kuroka jump off of his shoulder and transform into their Nekomata, Nekosho form. So you're from the famous Uzumaki clan, Searsex said happily, trying to lighten the mood. Cut the chit-chat. You have been notified about the breach on the contract for allowing your sisters to stay in my town. We originally intended to assign a representative to watch the town in them, but you suggest that they're capable of doing that job themselves. You were wrong. 18 people are dead now. Now explain why I should evict your sisters, Naruto asked harshly. There was no breach in the contract. Those were the fallen angels that killed the humans, not us, Seraphal said, trying to play him at an angle. Don't try to fool me. I was watching the meeting between you two and Amaterasu-sama and Tsukuyomi-sama. One of the condition for allowing them the status of watching over Kuo is that they keep the peace. Making sure that those from our world don't harm normal people. The people that was sent to investigate the death report we received that the fallen angels were illegally trespassing here and these two Naruto pointed to Sona and Rias. Did absolutely nothing to stop them. We made it clear about anyone from the supernatural world comes to Kuo without any of our approval is marked as a stray and to be killed on sight. Worse of all, they seem it fit to cover those that were killed and not even compensate the family. Another condition they broke. Sona and Rias could only look down in shame. Their older sibling put their trust on them with this responsibility, but they epically failed them. They're young and make mistake, Seraphal answered. So is Naruto-sama, he is even younger than them and he is still more capable of dealing problems like this, Hamari retorted. I don't see why this is happening NYA, they should be evicted now, they broke their word. Then again, it's not the first time they have, Kuroka said, taking a jab at the devils for trying to wipe out her race. Why are you here? You are a criminal for killing your master, Searsex said. So are they. Kuroka gestured to Sona and Rias. The deaths of 18 people fall on their shoulders. By Shinto law, they're the one that killed them and should be marked as criminals. A moment of silence passed. What do you want? Searsex asked seriously. All of what they said is true, they wanted something from them. Naruto turned to the two heiresses. Do you want to stay in Kuo town? He asked the two. They nodded to show that they did. Even though you would no longer have any power here, you will be only residents and be carefully monitored. He asked again. They hesitated, but nodded. They made this town their home. Even if they don't own it like they like, they find themselves considering Kuo their home. Naruto then turned to Searsex. If you want them to stay in Kuo, Shinto no, I want the other essence flame that you stole from my family, Naruto told Searsex. Shit, he knows. How can he know? Thought Searsex. The devils have a couple of essence flame that they stole from the Uzumaki clan a long time ago. They tried to absorb it or learn from it. All attempt failed and the others are with Ajuka for studying. What they failed to realize, that all essence flame had some form of sentient life and only an Uzumaki can communicate with them. The chilling bone flame told Naruto that there was more in the underworld. Sona and Rias looked confused. They have never heard of the Uzumaki clan being famous or anything about an essence flame. We already returned, Searsex was about to explain, but was cut off. Enough, said Seraphal, surprising everyone in the room. Lying will only make things worse. Searsex, we are in the wrong. After the incident about the Nekomatas and all the other incidents, we have the least creditably out of all the other factions. We wronged the Shinto faction for far too long. It's time to change, or else our little sisters will have to pay for our actions. Seraphal started to take over the negotiation. We will hand over your essence flame back. She then looked at Searsex seriously, all of them. Seraphal. Searsex shouted in protest. He didn't want to lose such a powerful weapon, even if he can't use it. No, we have committed many crimes against the Shinto faction and we only shift the blame to others. Kuroka was a devil, but we nearly wipe out a race for the misdeed of our kind. War will break out if we don't change. If we continue, then we will be no better than the old Satan faction. The civil war happened because we wanted to stop the war, not start one ourselves. Searsex was speechless. He couldn't believe that his friend wouldn't back him up. The civil war that they fought was to replace their leaders to find peace, but Seraphal was suggesting that they wanted to be the leaders instead of fighting for peace. It's true that Searsex want peace, but he couldn't let go of his greed. It was too much in his nature to go against it. During the civil war, they lost many friends. Many devils fought for peace and their deaths weren't in vain. The devils found peace, but now they're close to war again. The rest of the negotiation went well with Seraphal leading the talk. She was done trying to take advantages of others' kindness like Searsex was trying to do. She honestly wanted to find peace between Shinto and the devils. But that goal would be a long road full of betrayals and blood. Seraphal managed to convince Naruto into letting them stay in Kyoto to continue to live their life. Much to the joys of the heiresses, Naruto was never planning to kick them out. Kuroka asked him to let them stay because she wanted to be as close to Shiron, aka Kaneko. Naruto is a nice child. He knew that the deaths of those killed by the fallen wasn't all the devil's child. He discussed new terms about letting the two girls stay in Kyoto. 1. Naruto is the owner and they have to ask Naruto to do anything concerning the town. 2. Rias is to be punished for allowing the fallen angels kill the humans. Also, the Gremory family will compensate the family that lost their family member greatly. 17 families became rich and started to live the big life after a generous donation. 3. If the girls wanted to allow other devils into Kyoto, they have to see Naruto first, no exceptions. 4. The devil's ability to make contracts with humans is limited. They can no longer publicly advertise themselves with flyers or other means like they own the place anymore. They can only do it the old-fashioned way without causing problem to anyone. 4. 5. They are still allowed to have influences in Kyoto Academy, but can't interfere when Naruto or his group starts to run things. 6. They can't interfere with any factions that shows up to Kyoto. Naruto will deal with them. They can only defend themselves if they're attacked. 7. They have no say in the discussions Naruto make for Kyoto town. The girls accepted the terms, even Rias did, which surprised Naruto and his friends. They thought the Gremory princess would try to get out of her punishment, but she was taking it like a responsible adult. Maybe there was hope for peace and friendship for the new generation. Searsex agreed to send over the last essence flames he didn't return and Seraphal would be the one to personally deliver it, even though Searsex had some problems to the condition in the lost of the essence flames that the entire world was interested in. He and Seraphal happily left. They were happy because Naruto was giving them a chance of redemptions after all the shit they've done. Thank you. I promise you won't regret this. Seraphal said happily and giving Naruto a kiss on the cheek. Naruto slightly blushed, then Seraphal left. Naruto then turned to the two girls. Thank you. Sona and Rias said while bowing their heads. I know that I mess up, but it'll make things right, Rias said. You too. Raise your heads up. They did. I am sorry for sounding harsh. I am usually dealing with devils that shift the blame onto others. The incident with the Nekomata, Kuroka's incident, and the other yukais. Your leaders and many others just deny, refused, or shift the blame. You two are the first that I seen that is actually taking responsibility. Sona and Rias smiled. It seems like that they would be on better terms than they thought. They were thinking that Naruto would be looking for a reason to kick or worse, kill them. Naruto wasn't doing anything that they thought. I should properly introduce myself. I am Uzumaki Naruto, the heir to the infamous for other, but famous to the Shinto faction. Uzumaki clan. I was personally trained by Sun Wukong, Tsukuyomi, Susanoo, and Amaterasu. I like ramen, helping people, and my friends and family. I am not overly fond of devils because of past experience, but I hope this time would be different. Also, I am the governor of this town, he said happily while extending a hand. He said the last sentence with a British accent. Both girls shake his hand with a smile, then they gave their own introduction. Uzumaki-san, Sona asked, but was stopped. Naruto, I was never big on formalities. Okay. Naruto-san. I was wondering about what do you mean about the Uzumaki clan? I did my research and found out that your family predates to ancient time of Japan. I couldn't find anything to relate your family to the supernatural world. Me too. I know someone from one of the great Japanese clan and they never heard of yours, Rias asked. I am not surprised Nya. Kuroka commented. The Uzumaki clan is a family that you would call special and I mean that in both way, Himari said while taking a jab at Naruto. Hey. The Uzumaki clan is the only family blessed by the first god of the Shinto faction. Amanamanakunaoshi-sama during the Great War, they received great magical powers and longevity. They can live up as long as many of the other supernatural creature if they done the Uzumaki tradition. After a century after the war, they wish to live a normal life. Due to their prestige amongst all of Japan for the supernatural world. They listen to their request. A couple of the clans that serve Shinto help hide their history from those outside of the Shinto faction. While others did it out of jealousy, the Uzumaki were very powerful and made the others jealous. But once they left Kyoto, they tried to take their place, but ultimately failed. Many Uzumaki left Kyoto to live all around Japan. All Uzumaki lived a peaceful like they wanted. Some stayed their way and became powerful. One of Naruto's ancestors tried to create a god. Himari started to talk about the Uzumaki clan. She knew that Naruto was going to give them the rundown about them, but she felt the need to. Aag god Sona and Rias stuttered out. An idea to create a god is idiotic, Sona said. That is why I said special in both ways, and Uzumaki is a genius in many ways. But their nature to get into trouble, cause trouble. And stubbornness let them get into a lot of trouble with their crazy ideas. One idea to create a fire god worked. First, you should know that the essence flame, the god they created, isn't a god with holy power. It simply controls all flames around it. If you were to summon your own fire to attack someone with the essence flame, it would refuse to harm it. So, in some ways, the essence flame is a god, just without the holy attribute. Later, it was divided into 23 different pieces. Why divide it? It seems like it would be weaker than before, Sona asked. She now understood why Sirzex was reluctantly to give the essence flame back to the rightful owners. It was a very powerful object that most possibly rival a god and it could be used by anyone. In the wrong hands, it can be a dangerous weapon. Simple, it was too powerful. Naruto took over. The essence flame was too powerful and couldn't be absorbed by anyone. Also, it went against Uzumaki clan law. Clan law? Rias asked. Family comes first Nya. Kuroka answered. She liked the law. She risked her species for her family. She no doubt that the Uzumaki would do the same. Yes, for an Uzumaki, family is everything. We watch out for our own. The essence flame was for one Uzumaki, so we divided it up to share with other Uzumakis. Sound like your family was very powerful, Rias commented. She liked how Uzumaki value family. True, but we never cared about power. That's why we wanted to live a normal life. Back to the essence flame, it was divided, but it didn't lose its ability to control other fires. Well, control isn't the right word. It's more like obey. Here, can one of you make a small fire? Rias summoned a small fire on her hand. Naruto then released the chilling bone flame. The fire in Rias' hand seems to be bowing down to the flame around Naruto. This is one of the essence flame, rank 11, the bone-chilling flame. It has extreme heats, but at the same time, cold attributes. I could make this room freezing, but burn it down. Rias and Sona could only stare and shiver in the presence of the cold flame. They couldn't believe that the fire that Rias conjured up looked like it was bowing to Naruto's flame. It defied logic. Naruto then dismissed it. All Uzumaki essence flames are unique and are ranked. To use one, you need to absorb it to your kai. But first of all you need to be an Uzumaki. It was created to be a form of weapons to protect us. You can consider it as a bloodline. Can others absorb it? Rias asked. She was intrigued by the essence flame. Yes and no. You need an Uzumaki to modify it to allow anyone without Uzumaki blood absorb it. There is also the fact that not all could absorb it. There has been many death in my family trying to absorb it. You need to be powerful with your body and spirit to attempt to do it. So far, I am the only Uzumaki capable of absorbing one in the last century or so, surprising the two even more. If your family is so powerful, why are there so few? Sona asked. She also found that fact interesting when she researched about them. Same reason for me Nya. They're powerful and many holds grudges against them like me. After the Uzumaki went to live normal lives, the few that remembered hunted them down. Only a handful are left. Kuroka answered with a sad smile. She still blames herself for all those deaths, but doesn't regret it. May I ask, why is she here? She is the one that caused the Nekomata purge in the first place, and how is she a Nekosho? She should be a reincarnated devil, Rias asked. It has been bothering her since last night. How I change back is a secret NYA. I am here for Naruto-kun and for Sharon-chan. Rias didn't like the answer. Rias, like I said, devils like to shift the blame. What happened that night with Kuroka isn't what you think. Also, it's not my place to say. Naruto told her, oh, Sona, can you register Himari into the school for me? She wanted to go to school with me, but I couldn't allow it at first. Sure, Sona said. Is there any more questions? The girls didn't have any more. Okay, Sona, can you leave us? Me and Rias have to talk alone. Sona and Himari left to get her registered to school. Kuroka left through the window. Rias, you have to tell Issei. I know, it's just hard to tell him. He's part of my family now and I don't want to ruin that, Rias said with a tear falling out of her eyes. She didn't want to cause pain to anyone, but she was desperate. Tell him the truth. I am his friend and I will help him throughout. I have faith that he will do what's right. Rias then wiped away her tears. Naruto, there is also another problem. It's Yuto. I know. I did my research on everyone already. Kiba has problem with holy swords, but like I said, devils like to shift the blame. He's blaming swords for the action of a madman. If I have to, I'll beat that sense into him. Thank you. Rias then went to go grab her peerage. She told them what happened and took them back to the clubroom to talk to Naruto. Naruto. Issei shouted. He was expecting a fight to break out with him in the mouths. You're okay. I thought something would have happened. Give me some credit, Issei. I know how to negotiate. He gave him a bro hug. Now, you have any questions for me? No, and no. Yeah. Bucko told us everything already. That's badass to hear that you're from a powerful clan. Yeah, Issei, Rias said. There is something I have to tell you. What is it, Bucko? The day you died, I let it happen, she said while looking down. She couldn't bring herself to look at her pawn. The others were looking away, besides Naruto. What? The fallen angels should have never killed you. It was my job to take them out, but I didn't and I knew that they would kill you. I decided to revive you as my servant instead of saving you. I am sorry. What? Issei said in disbelief while tightening his hand. He couldn't believe that the kind king he had would let him die like that. I was desperate and I needed your power. The sacred gear of yours is powerful and I didn't want to lose the chance of getting you. Issei was getting angry at her. He didn't know what to think. He was only a tool for her. I know I was wrong about what I did, but I needed power and I was afraid. Issei then turned to his friend for help. During their childhood, Naruto would always help him out of any situation. Listen to her first before making your choice, Issei. I am not agreeing with her action. That's for you to decide, Naruto said. He then turned back to Rias still looking down. He noticed that there was tears on the ground. She was crying. I am being forced to marry a man that I don't love. I tried everything to get out of it, but the only way to get out of it would be through a match. I needed strong people to help me. I don't think that you're only here for your power. You're part of my peerage now and I care for you. I am terribly sorry. Arranged marriage, huh? Naruto thought. He could understand Rias to a degree because he too is being married, but it was to someone he loves. Naruto. What do I do? Issei asked. He didn't know what to do anymore. It's your choice, Issei. I can tell that she does care for you like the others. How she got you was wrong, but her feelings are true. She could have kept the truth away from you, but she is telling you now. It shows she wants to make it up to you. Let her action show that she is sorry. You can stay a devil with her or I can change you back into a human, but that's a 50% chance of dying. It surprised them to hear that Naruto could reverse the evil piece. Rias pinned the dots in her head that it was him that changed Kuroka back into a Nekosho. Issei once again looked at Rias. Her eyes were red and she was still crying. It was obvious that it hurt her to tell the truth that she caused his death. Then Naruto's word rang in his head. She could have kept the truth away from you, but she is telling you now. It shows she wants to make it up to you. Let her action show that she is sorry. He did enjoy the short life of being a pawn with Rias, and being a devil would allow him to reach his dream of harem king, but it was emotion that was stopping him now. Rias, I don't know if I can forgive you, but I am willing to give you another chance. Rias immediately buried his head into her chest. Issei immediately didn't regret his choice. After a few minutes for the king and pawn, Kiba approached Naruto. His eyes was covered in the shadow of his hair. Uzumaki. This is about my Kusanagi, isn't it? I know about your past. I am going to say this once. You, like many other devils, love to shift the blame to others. It's easier than handling the truth. Naruto cut him off. It froze Kiba. Sharon. He was looking at Kaneko. I don't know how you feel about me or your older sister living with me, but you need to confront your problems. I won't do anything to you. Kuroka might confront you, but she won't force you into anything. This is a problem for you too, and the only thing you'll do is give her the support she will need. After another moment of silence, Issei was finally freed from Ryo's hug. Naruto, is Asia okay? She's fine. I won't do anything bad to her. She will be able to stay here, but what she does next is her choice. I won't interfere on the path she chooses. He was looking at Rias. He knew that she wanted Asia's sacred gear. If Asia wanted to become a devil, then it was her choice and he won't stop her. He will warn her about all the consequences about it, but won't stop her. Thank God. OWWW. Issei shouted in pain while holding his head. What the hell is that? Issei. You're a devil now. Saying anything related to holy figures will cause us pain, Rias answered. Ah, about Yuma-chan. Who? The fallen angel that took Asia. Oh, I killed that crow. Surprising Issei. He didn't know that Naruto would sound so cold to someone else. Well, it wasn't to only fallen angels. He called devils bats and angels Tinkerbell. He would only calls them by those names if they annoy or anger him. She believed that it was okay to kill humans because she was a crow. It makes me sick to think that others would think like that. You won't have to fear anything from her anymore. You can come visit Asia tomorrow. She is still resting. Naruto got up from the couch. I hope that our relationship will improve, everyone. Just try to not to screw up on this second chance. If something does happen, I won't be left with a choice, but to evict all devils. I'll see you all tomorrow at school. Naruto then left. All the devils in Kuo had a lot to think about. A lot happened and they now have to deal. It was a long few weeks for Naruto and the others. They finally managed to work things out and have Issei slowly forgive Rias. Naruto went with Shigure to handle all the transfer of power in the city to the Shinto faction. Doing so would give the Shinto faction a stronger presence in the city that the devils used to have. Staff inside of Kuo Academy have been replaced with members of the Shinto faction that would listen to Naruto. Police officer chief have been replaced with a Yukai, and several members inside other businesses have been replaced with Yukai or servants of the Uzumaki clan. There was also Asia. She decided to stay with the Uzumaki due to them being so friendly to her. Much to Rias' disappointment, she wanted her to join her peerage. But she rejected the offer. She wasn't excited with the idea of becoming to a devil. Also, how Rias used the fallen angels to kill Issei didn't help, and she didn't want to lose her touch with God. But she still ended up to forgive her. She would always hang out with Issei during school and even join the occult club and would help them when asked. Rias even offered Naruto, Kuno and Himari to join the club, but was denied. Asia would live with at the Uzumaki compound. Naruto and Kuno would even allow her to hang a cross in her room, and some others. Kuno and Asia would spend a lot of time together. Overall, she enjoyed her stay with Naruto's family. Then there is Yuto Kiba, the guy with a bad history of holy swords. He would avoid Naruto as much as possible because Naruto owns one. Every time that he sees Naruto, his anger starts to build up, so he avoids him to not start any problem for his king. Also, Kaneko is another problem. She was having mixed feeling about her sister being in town. She was scared about facing her and happy deep inside about her being here. At the end, she chosen to avoid Naruto as well to not face her problems. Naruto was hoping that these two would face their past, but was disappointment to see them running away from them. The transfer of power have went off without any problem. Cover stories for the old abandoned church have been told to the news station, and all the deaths that occurred have been fixed. Their family have been compensated by the Gremory family, and Rias have been disciplined by Shigure. She made Rias sit Caesar and place large stone slabs on her thigh, adding more by the hour. It went on for 6 hours straight and Rias didn't enjoy it at all. What she didn't know is that Kuroka took pictures to blackmail her later. Then came Sona unofficial punishment. Flashback 5 days after the negotiation, it was time for the devil to keep up their end of their deal. Uzumaki. Saji, another second year of Kuo Academy and another reincarnate devil, came over to bring Naruto over to the student council room. Kaichu wants to speak to you, Saji said from the door. Of course, wait up. Let me pack my things. Naruto then turned to Kuno and Himari. Go ahead and head home, he told them. Issei and Asia already left to head to the club room. Naruto then followed Saji to the student council room, only to find Sona, her peerage working, and Serafal with a metal box. Naruto-kun. Serafal shouted to give Naruto a hug and tell Oni-sama. Stop fooling around, Sona said sternly, only for Serafal to fall then quickly get up to cry in Sona's chest. After a few minutes of apologizing, crying to Sona for being herself, she then turned to Naruto. Like I promise, Naruto-kun, here is the other essence flames, Serafal said happily as she handed Naruto the box. He then opened it up to see them. Inside were Dragon Phoenix Flame and the Living Spirit Flame. The dragon phoenix flame was comparable to the flames of a dragon and phoenix combine. Even though the fire is very powerful, it's considered rank 20, a very low rank due to not having any special quality instead of high temperature. The living spirit flame is another story, unlike the other flames. This one is an essence flame for longevity. Anyone that absorb they also gain the same longevity, lifespan that an Uzumaki has. Even though it has the same ability as the others, it's not as strong as the others. It's rank 5 due to its spiritual power. Most importantly, it's the easiest one to absorb that is out of the single digits. But Uzumaki already live long lives, so they don't need it. It was usually gifted to a loved one that is normal and don't have the same long life that an Uzumaki have. Thank you, Leviathan Dono, Naruto said with a bow. Once rising up, Seraphal immediately hugged him, surprising Naruto. Seraphal, call me Seraphal, she said to him. Many were watching the two. Sona's glasses slip a little. Saji looked jealous. The other girls looked like they were ready to gossip. Fine, Seraphal, Naruto replied while returning the hug. My oh my, I thought you didn't like devils, Naruto-chan. The man by the door said childishly, surprising everyone and freaking out everyone in the room. The man has short black hair that has longer locks hanging around his face, and brown eyes and wore a gray Japanese traditional clothes. The devils freak out because they thought that a human found got in so easily. Seraphal gave him an questioning look. The man looked familiar to her, while Naruto gave an annoyed look. Seaman Naruto groaned, causing the young devil to look at Naruto, while Seraphal was still trying to figure out why he looks familiar. You know him? Questioned Sona. The others were being weary of him. I should. He's my godfather, Naruto answered. Godfather. The peerage member shouted except for Tsubaki and Sona. It would mean that he's from the Shinto faction, but he was still an unknown to them. Wait, you called him Seaman? Saji asked. Naruto nodded to answer him. Is it Seaman or Seaman? Saji asked due to his perverted nature confusing him. Sona only shook her head at his question. Seaman, Naruto answered, but making it hard to figure out which word, confusing Saji even more. By the way, why are you here? Now, Naruto, you should NT call me that. Besides, I am the new principal, Susanoo said happily, surprising Sona that it would be Naruto's godfather. She knew that Ryo's father was removed from that position for the Shinto faction to have a stronger presence in Kuo Academy. Oh, I'll be going by my pen name while I stay here with you, Naruto. For Sona-chan, you will call me Principal Shigeru Soma. 1. Shigeru Soma, as in the author of the Icha Icha series. Saji shouted, asked. He was a fan of that piece of art. Some of the other girls look interested. Apparently, some didn't like others knowing about them being a fan of his book, only for him to happily nod. Clap, I remember. You're Susanoo, the Shinto god of sea and storm, Seraphal shouted. She remembered him now from the previous meeting she had with him. As the Mao in charge of foreign affairs, she met many leaders of all faction. Sona and her peerage was surprised about finding out that this man was one of the Shinto gods, and they immediately started to bow to him to show respect. Seraphal-chan, it's been a while since I saw you, Susanoo said. The two went on to talk to each other. Sona went over to Naruto. Is this really Susanoo? The Shinto god of the sea and storm? Sona asked. He didn't look the part and seemed too casual to be a god. Unfortunately, yes, Naruto answered. Is he really a pervert? Sona asked while adjusting her glasses. She figured that the author of Icha Icha is a pervert. Not many people would know that Icha Icha is pornography book unless they read it. Naruto started to grin mischievously. Oh, I didn't know that you read Icha Icha? Naruto asked back, causing Sona to stutter. What? No, I don't read that SS smut, Sona denied. In truth, she was a fan like several of her peerage members. Don't lie. I could tell. Besides, I asked his publisher about the ratio gender of buyers. Women mainly buy that book, Naruto answered, surprising Sona, and she hung her head in shame. I would never believe that the majority readers are women. I am ashamed for being a woman now. Naruto started to pat her on her back. There, I heard that they like the plot of the story. Even though it's filled with sex, that piece of information made her a little better, just a little. Then the two powerful beings turned to Naruto to finish up business and a little flirting by Seraphal. See you next time, Naruto-kun. Seraphal said happily as a magic circle appeared below her and teleported her home. Naruto, I'll be staying with you and the other girls, Susanoo said. He then turned to a depressing Sona. Don't worry, Sona Citri. I'll be a proper principal and help you make this school better. I hope that you can keep up to my standards, he said confidently. This reassured her. Now, I will explore the school to get used to it, he said while walking out of the room, then closing the door. He sounds like he would be a responsible principal, Tsubaki said because she felt that his parting words were true. It was then Naruto raised his hand to stop that train of thought. Wait for it, Naruto said while looking at the door. High school girls. High school girls. All for me. High school girls. Susanoo started to sing while skipping around in the halls, causing many to sweat drop. So, he is a pervert? Sona asked once again. No, Naruto answered, causing everyone to not believe him. He's a super pervert. From that day onward, Sona and the rest of her student council had to deal with their new principal antics. They couldn't be harsh to him due to him being a god and could easily kill or kick them out of Kuo. Although, it did help that Shigure attacks him at home when he tries to peep on her. Sona would take comfort in that someone else could harm a god without being punished. End of flashback. Naruto dressed in his casual black outfit was heading to the river with a fishing gear and a chair. He sat up next to a tall man appearing to be in his 20s with an average build, black hair, golden bangs and black goatee in a Japanese clothing. He then started to fish alongside with the man. So Azazel, how's it going? Naruto asked, revealing the man's name. Just trying to avoid all the paperwork that Rainier and her friends end up creating. Azazel answered, yes, Azazel, as in the leader of Grigori and strongest fallen angel. The two already have history. Azazel was always fascinated by the Uzumaki creation and would keep an eye on them. Considering that none live in Kyoto, then suddenly Kushina Uzumaki and her family moved to Kyoto grab his attention. He knew that she was trying to live a peaceful life outside of Kyoto. He found out that they were trying to hide something or someone. When Naruto was around 13 and started to do mission around Japan, he tried to meet him. He personally went to avoid any deaths and prevent a war. He knew that the Shinto faction would kill any fallen on sight in Japan and his men would kill or try to capture Naruto if he gave the order. That would restart the war, so he went to personally meet Naruto. After some fights and talking, Azazel was allowed into Japan. But his men had to stay out unless they have permission. He would always come to Kyoto to hang out with Naruto. The two became friends quick. He was really interested in the essence flame and Naruto's heavenly body magic. It was found out during their first encounter. Naruto knew he was powerful and went all out, forcing Azazel to use his artificial sacred gear, and Naruto managed to destroy it. Forcing Azazel to rebuild it from scratch, Azazel was sworn to keep it a secret by Kushina. Also, the beating Kushina gave him a very good reason to not tell anyone about it. He would try to find out why or how the long-lost bloodline was formed in Naruto. So far, he couldn't find out anything about the bloodline. Naruto also refused to allow him to study the essence flame, much to Azazel's disappointment, but got over it after finding his newfound friendship with Naruto and some members of the Shinto faction, mainly Naruto and Susanoo. He and the god of the sea and storm friendship was built on perversion. I have to ask, did you send in those crows? Naruto asked, until he felt a tug on his rod. Oh, I caught one. Naruto started to reel one in. Seriously. I have been here for a couple of hours and only caught 4. You come here in less than a minute, you caught one. Azazel complained. Also, no, I don't send any of my men into Japan at all since I know how you and your faction is like with the biblical faction. I guess that they were a rogue from the start and was hoping to do something impressive to get promoted. Sorry about her killing your friend. At least they are dealt with, Naruto said as the two continued to fish and banter with each other. It was common for him and Naruto to meet up once in a while to go out fishing. Next day it was a normal day at school. Sona was dealing with the immature principal trying to ogle at her fellow female students. Asia was talking with the girls in class along with Kuno. Both girls were adjusting to school. Issei was hanging out with the rest of the perverted trio. Hamari was out at home due to her cold. It was then Asia went to the old abandoned building for club. However, this time, Kuno came along. It was time that she spent time with devils and get used to them being around. Naruto then felt a powerful presence near the school. More specifically, it was in the occult club room. Naruto then head off to go spy on the room. Naruto was watching from a tree outside of the window. While hiding his presence, he watched as the powerful aura was coming from the maid with silver hair in the room. Naruto sensed that she was a devil and Naruto have no knowledge about her coming to town. Looks like Shigure gets to punish Rias again, he thought with an evil grin. He remembered how much she hated Shigure's punishment. Then he saw Kuno talking to Rias and her face shift from neutral to horrified. Must have told her about breaking one of the rules again, he thought with a chuckle. Then a teleportation circle opened up to reveal a blonde man. Then a conversation started between Rias and the man. Naruto was too far away to hear them. Then the man's eyes landed on Kuno and it looked like he was hitting on her. This isn't going to end well, Naruto thought. He was worried about Kuno being hitted on because of what happened to the last person that tried ended up in the hospital. You perverted chicken. Kuno screamed. Apparently she didn't like how the man was talking to her. It was then things started to get tense. The maid tried to calm everyone down. But the man didn't look like he was calming down. He then turned to the only human in the room and charged up a fireball. Issei pulled out the boosted gear and Kiba drew a sword. The maid started to draw on her power to calm people down, but failed to do so on time. The blonde man threw the fireball at Asia. Damn it. Naruto thought. Crash boom, the window broke down and the fireball exploded before it hit at Asia. The room was covered in smoke. Then suddenly, everyone felt cold, very cold. Then the smoke cleared, revealing Naruto in the center of everyone with a white-blue fire surrounding him. Since when did high school become a playground for little kids? Naruto asked coolly. The room became even colder. The bone-chilling flame. Kuno and the maid thought. They both recognized the essence flame's color and power. The blonde man was glaring at Naruto and started to form another fireball, but the flame was soon sucked into the white-bluish flame as soon as he could form it. Naruto was allowing any fire to be formed that isn't his own. If you're going to continue, won't you include me as well? Naruto asked while raising his right fist that was covered in the cold-feeling flames. 2. Thanks for watching.